Mic test. Mic test. Mic test. Mic test. Mic test.
ना सिड भाई, ये गलत है, ये गलत है। ये मेरे को चूतियागिरी के लिए भड़काओ मत तुम लोग, ठीक है? तुम लोग ऐसा मेरा ईगो हर्ट मत करना। ये भी का 190 कितना था, 4 था कि 5 था? का
Oh, you
अपन
couldn't hear me.
2.1
I'm
नहीं।
sorry, dude.
तो वैसे भी मेरे ही स्ट्रीम का रिएक्शन उठा के अपने चैनल पे डाल रहे हैं।
Hello, hello,
अपन का
hello,
अपन बाद
hello,
में
hello, hello, hello,
करेंगे,
hello, hello, hello,
उड़ेंगे नहीं
hello,
सब
hello,
कुछ
hello,
अपन
hello, hello,
लोग,
hello.
उसका बाद में करेंगे।
Dude. Yeah.
194 था, 2000 बढ़ा दिया है एक स्ट्रीम पे। दिस फकिंग पावर मैन, माय गॉड।
Shut up, dude. Sure. I'll watch this.
Neon is here and she is top tier. And with the new patch coming out, it is about time that we updated our tier list. We have a brand new episode, a new agent, and a supercharged Ares come and go, so we have a lot to talk about today. To start out this list strong, we have Yoru in the D tier. It feels pretty redundant to say at this point, if I'm being entirely honest. Yoru desperately needs help, especially with Neon in the game now. There's just no reason to really play him. He doesn't do anything better than any of the other duelists in the game, so he doesn't really fill to any sort of niche. The truth is that until we get the Yoru rework, he's probably going to stay
I'll
a
give a
low tier
better angle.
agent, so fingers crossed that it comes soon. With that, we are on to our C tier, and here we have a pretty regular face as well,
Yep.
Phoenix. It really is sad to see Phoenix so low on this list, knowing how strong he used to be, but by taking a look at this pick rate in pro play, it's easy to see that he's fallen out of favor in the meta. The thing with Phoenix is that he's not a bad agent. He still has a great kit loaded with flashes, a molly, and a very powerful ultimate. He even sometimes still sees play on Haven, albeit a very limited amount of play. But the biggest problem with Phoenix is that we haven't been in a double duelist meta for a while now, and with agents like Skye in the game, he's just outclassed. She is a better flash, a team heal, for a while now, and with agents like Skye in the game, he's just outclassed. She is a better flash, a team heal,
Okay, dude.
and her dog, which is just way better for gathering info and clearing sites for the team. Maybe one day we'll get back into the meta where Phoenix is played again, but for now, he sits in our C tier. Now, the next agent in our C tier is Brimstone, and although you may all be saying that it isn't really a surprise to see him here, we almost put Brimstone in the B tier this time. Although Brim hasn't gotten any buffs, he still has seen a little bit of play here and there over the last month. He was even played at Champions in the Grand Finals by Gambit on Fracture. The thing with Brimstone is that there are a few maps where he is actually playable at a competitive level. Maps like Bind and even Fracture are great maps for him. Fracture is the newest map, and what makes Brimmy so good on this map is that he can place down all three of his smokes at the same time. This gives him a slight advantage over the other controllers, since on A site he could smoke Drop, Ropes, and Link all at the same time for A site executes. Although he has been seeing
Damn.
more play in the pro scene, I still think it's a bit early to move Brim up
That's
to the B
overpowered,
tier,
bro.
but I would keep an eye out because this could potentially change soon. Speaking of Brimstone, by the way, if you guys wanted to learn how to play from arguably one of the best Brimstones in the game, I definitely recommend checking out the course that Smack made for us over on the website. He is a Radiant Brimstone one-trick who is just phenomenal to watch. I even actually got queued in a game with him one time. He is incredible. He will teach you all of the ins and outs of a seemingly simple agent like Brimstone, and then if you don't want to learn Brimstone, maybe you want to learn any other agent of the game, we also have courses made by Radiant players for all of those agents as well, so I definitely recommend checking those out. Anyway though, let's get back into the video, but if you guys really want to improve, definitely recommend checking out skillcap.com. Now moving on, for the first agent in our B tier, we have Cypher. All of the Sentinels are pretty even in power level and see a good amount of play. They're all pretty much map dependent and get varied amounts of play depending on the team. That being said, Cypher does have a slightly lower pick rate than the other Sentinels, which is why he's landed himself in a spot like the B tier this patch. But again, depending on who you ask, Cypher could also be justified as an A tier pick. He's still one of the best agents for defaults because his trips don't have a max range like Killjoy's utility.
Yeah,
And out of
but I
all of
didn't
the Sentinels
follow.
in the game, sometimes still sees play on Haven.
First was shitty Euro,
One
then
day
Phoenix.
we'll get back into the
okay.
meta where Phoenix is played again. Two
Yeah,
maps where he is
then
active
Brim.
on the website of the game. We all Sentinels are pretty even in power level and see a good amount of play. They're all now moving on. For the first agent in our B tier, we have Cypher. All of the Sentinels are pretty even in power level and see a good amount of play. They're all pretty much map dependent and get varied amounts of play depending on the team. That being said, Cypher does have a slightly lower pick rate than the other Sentinels, which is why he's landed himself in a spot like the B tier this patch. But again, depending on who you ask, Cypher could also be justified as an A tier pick. He's still one of the best agents for defaults because his trips don't have a max range like Killjoy's utility. And out of all of the Sentinels in the game, he's the best at gathering intel on the enemy's positions with his camera and his ultimate. And then he's also playable on almost every single map in the game, and a very solid B tier agent.
Expensive.
Moving on though, the next agent in our B tier is Reyna. In solo queue, Reyna is still very powerful, and although she has a bit
Whose
more
pen is
competition
this?
with Neon now
Or
being
did I
released,
steal
she
someone's
still sees
pen?
a good amount of play. In the
No,
pro
no, no
scene,
pen.
she is a staple pick on Icebox where her pick rate is almost 60%, and the only reason that Reyna isn't higher on this list is because she relies on the player using her to have
What,
really good
Reyna?
aim. Not only does her aim still very powerful, and although
No way, dude. This is busting. I mean, this is busted. Reyna is busting.
she has a bit more competition with Neon now being released, she still sees a good amount of play. In the pro scene, she is a staple pick on Icebox where her pick rate is almost 60%, and the only reason that Reyna isn't higher on this list is because she relies on the player using her to have really good aim. Not only does her aim need to be good, but it needs to be better than the average player in the lobby, since most of her abilities are locked until you get a kill or assist. So players with really good aim will find her to be really powerful, but if your aim isn't at that level it needs to be, you'll find her being just a little bit underwhelming when you pick her. And in higher levels of play where the average player's mechanics are a lot closer, Reyna isn't that strong of an agent. That being said, feeding a Reyna a kill is still a bad idea since she could start to take control of a game if you lit her, and for that, she also earns a spot on our B tier. The third agent on our B tier this patch is Breach. Breach has always been a solid agent with really
think
strong
Breach
flashes
is
and a really
somewhere, yeah.
powerful crowd control ability.
But Reyna has to
The
be
biggest
better.
problem with Breach is that he lacks any info gathering tools in his kit, so on a lot of maps, Sova and Skye are just better options as initiators. But that being said, Breach does have his maps, notably maps where Sova is not as strong, like Split and especially Fracture. Fracture is just really good for Breach because his E gets so much value because of how narrow the hallways are. This makes it so if you want to show early
True.
aggression, his abilities are basically impossible to dodge. This gives Breach pretty much a must-pick status on this map, and this niche is the reason that he earns a spot in our B tier. And for the next agent in our B tier, we have another Sentinel, Chamber. I did say that all of the Sentinels are pretty even in power level right now, and Chamber is no different. His trips don't have a maximum range similar to Cypher trips, so he's another Sentinel that's perfect for teams that want to default. And he also comes with a free operator thanks to his ultimate, which doesn't really make sense, right? Why did you do this? Now, it's still a bit too early to see much in pro play, but in the limited amount of time that he's been out, we have already seen some experimentation. And I am sure in the future we are going to continue to see him getting playtime. For the last agent in our B tier though, we have Omen. And honestly, Omen has really fallen off from the days when he was the top controller pick. Ever since Astra was introduced, Omen has just been outclassed in the controller role. That being said, if you don't play Astra, Omen is still an okay agent. His smokes are very useful and he still has a very strong flash that can blind an entire enemy team through a wall. But there are 3 big problems with Omen, and I'm going to name them off quickly so that we can move on. His smokes have a limited range, especially on the larger maps. He only gets 1 blind, and when you compare them to Astra, Viper, and Brimstone, he basically has no post-plant utility. And as a fellow Broman myself, I'd love to see him get buffed, but until then, we wait. Omen's an okay pick right now, but by no means the best. With that though, we are now onto our A tier, and the first agent I'm going to talk about is Killjoy. Although all of the Sentinels are pretty interchangeable, the reason Killjoy is placed a little bit higher on this list is solely because of her pick rate. Across all maps and pro play, she has the highest pick rate out of any Sentinel at almost 40%. Although she isn't as strong for defaulting on attack because of the max range on her utility, her kit has other advantages. On post plant, her mollies are really good for stalling the enemy team from defusing the spike, which makes her incredibly helpful for clutching out rounds on attack. Her ultimate is also extremely good at clear.
Dude, wait a second, bro. There are Sentinels, Duelist, Controllers, and Duelist, Controller, Initiator. Okay, dude. What is this? Push forward into conflict. Okay, think about it. Initiators focus on gathering intel and help the team push. Get the back of down of the team.
Clearing out sight and taking space to allow your team to push, and she's also so flexible that you can play her on pretty much every single map in the game and see success with her. So with all of those points, Killjoy is an easy pick for A tier. The second spot in our A tier this patch goes to Skye. This one shouldn't be too much of a surprise. Skye has been a big part of the meta for a while now. She has a really strong flash that can also be used to get info about enemies' locations. Her dog is also great for clearing out corners for your team to make the site execute safer, and to top that off, she also has a heal. Her kit can do pretty much everything, which makes her a good pick on pretty much every map in the game. And this flexibility combined with her strength is exactly why she deserves a spot on the A tier. For the next agent in our A tier, we have another Sentinel, Sage. Similar to an agent like Skye, Sage is one of those agents that's played on pretty much every map in the game. But the one thing that sets her apart is the fact that she basically is a must pick on maps like Icebox. Her wall is one of the best abilities in the game, and on a map like Split, you have to commit at least 1 or 2 people to shooting it down every round, otherwise the defenders can just rotate freely and not worry about mid at all. Specifically on Icebox, her wall is also really great for helping your team get the plant down. It can be really hard to hold a plant on that map with so many angles that the enemies can appear from, so sometimes just walling off a section of the site and planting it is just easier. She also has a very strong ultimate that's arguably in the top 5 in the game. Overall, Sage is in a great spot in the meta, and it's never a bad idea to play her, so she gets a well-deserved spot in our A tier. Double satcheling into the next spot in our A tier, we have Raze. This is again a very easy pick for our A tier. The only problem with Raze is that she isn't exactly playable on every map, but the maps that she is playable on, Sage is in a on Icebox, her wall is also meta. Bind and with Raze is that she isn't exactly playable on every.
Wait a minute, yeah, sure, I agree. Nah, chamber should be higher. Chamber higher, Reyna higher. I think Cypher too higher.
Every map, but the maps that she is playable on, she dominates. Maps like Bind and Split are maps that you can't afford to not have a Raze on your team.
Bind. This Haven, dude. Bind is don't remember Bind. Split is
Maps
this.
that you can't afford to not have a Raze on your team. Her utility is just so strong for denying
This is
space,
Bind.
making it so you can't really play certain areas on the map if she's in the game. Areas like U-Haul and Hookah are such tight spaces that give Raze's utility so much value. So because Raze is all around dominant on every map and very dominant on certain maps, she gets a spot in our A tier. Sprinting into the next spot in our A tier, we actually have Valorant's newest agent, Neon. And although we don't really have any
No,
stats on
that
her,
was Split, wasn't it? Yeah, this is Split. Bind is Bind. This is Bind. Then what is Split? Okay, my bad. What? Oh my god, wait a minute. Oh god. Yeah, Split is with drainages and all, yeah.
tight spaces that give Raze's utility so much value. So because Raze is all around dominant on every map and very dominant on certain maps, she gets a spot in our A tier. Sprinting into the next spot in our A tier, we actually have Valorant's newest agent, Neon. And although we don't really have any stats on her yet, I'm still going to try to explain why Neon deserves to be in the A tier. For one, her ultimate is actually kind of insane in a lot of situations. It deals a ton of damage and she can sprint while using it, making it extremely hard to hit her. Now, although it doesn't one-shot you, so you could potentially get headshot right away, sometimes it's pretty hard to track that Neon on your screen as she's just sprinting across, sliding all over the place, and zapping you with a laser. Her stun is also incredibly strong. It comes out instantly and it's very hard to dodge because of the large AoE. She's also one of those agents that's played on pretty much every single map in the game because her kit is just so flexible. And although she just came out, Neon is in a pretty good spot in the meta, and the only reason she isn't in the S tier is because we haven't had a chance to see the agent get played in the pro scene yet. She could easily find herself in the S tier over the next couple of episodes, but she also could easily find herself dropping down. I guess time will tell. Moving on to our final spot in the A tier, we have an agent that hasn't really been up here before, but it's KO. In the pro scene, KO has actually started to see more and more play ever since Champions. Suppression is a very powerful status effect in the game, and it's great for both making it easier to push on offense and stalling out a push on defense. Turning off a Sentinel's abilities while they're stuck on site makes it extremely easy to run them over, and on defense, it forces the enemy team to sit there and wait until the duration is over before they can actually push. Not to mention, KO's ultimate is very strong, especially after the latest buffs, since now it continues to suppress enemies even after you knock him down. KO may have been overlooked in the past, but right now he is in a great spot and definitely gets a spot in our A tier.
I don't know.
Now, with
bro.
that, we are finally onto our S tier, and the first agent in this tier is going to be, of course, Jett. This is an easy one. Nothing has really changed with Jett recently. She's still very strong, and her dash is still one of the best abilities in the game. Neon has come out, and you'd think that she would compete with Jett in a way because she's very fast, but Neon doesn't really op very well, so it's not quite the same thing. Jett also has a lot of flexibility with her on-demand smokes, and her ultimate is still insane for eco rounds, so when it comes to the duelist slot, you can't really go wrong with picking Jett. Of course, Sova makes the S tier this patch again. In a game where information is so important, there really is no better agent for the job than Sova. His Owl Drone and Recon Bolt pretty much have no replacement in the game, and his ultimate is also one of the most deadly ults in the game. His kit is also flexible enough to be played on most maps in the game, besides Split and Fracture, so if you're a Sova main, you can just kind of lock him everywhere. With such an important job in the game, you can't really afford to not have a Sova in your comp, or else you'll be at a big disadvantage. So for that, Sova earns himself a very comfortable spot in our S tier. Now, we're almost done with the list, but we still have a couple more to go, and the next one we're going to be talking about is Astra. We have been in a double controller meta for a while now, and Astra is at the center of it. Her existence alone changes how the game is played. She's the only agent in the game that can use her utility anywhere on the map, so having an Astra
controller.
makes it...
So one duelist, one sentinel, double controller, another sentinel, or another duelist, initiator. One duelist, one initiator, one controller, one sentinel, another controller. Got it.
Way harder for the teams to push onto a site. Not only that, she can place her utility anywhere, but that utility is also very powerful. She has a smoke, a gravity well to pull enemies in and make them vulnerable, and a concussion. What does Omen have again? Listen, if you're not playing Astra right now, I'd highly recommend picking her up. Learning how to play her if you're a controller main is one of the best decisions that you could make. She's easily one of the most oppressive agents in the game right now, and that's why she deserves a spot in our S tier. But now it's time to talk about our final agent in the S tier, and that is Viper. I did say we're in a double controller meta, and you can't have a double controller meta without two controllers. Viper is the preferred secondary controller a lot of the time. She does have some weaknesses, like how she may commit her wall to a specific location if she wants to use it, but for the most part, having a secondary controller helps to alleviate those weaknesses since you have another agent that can smoke for your team. Besides that, Viper's utility is incredibly strong. It's some of the best utility for stalling pushes in the game, which makes having a Viper on your team feel like playing with another Sentinel on defense. The fact that her smokes deal 30 damage to enemies on contact and her mollies make you vulnerable means that you can't really push through them. So you're instead forced to just kind of wait until they go down, and by that time, their entire team has already rotated over to the site to help. There are also some maps where Viper can be your only controller, and usually those maps are Breeze and Icebox. These are way more open maps, and they demand that you play Viper because her wall can block off all of the necessary sight lines that other controllers just can't.
Damn,
No matter
bro,
how you
that's
slice
crazy.
it, Viper is a top tier pick right now and a defining agent in the current meta, earning her a spot in our S tier. Now, before we go, I just wanted to quickly remind you that if you wanted to learn how to play any of these agents at the
But
top
I don't
level,
think Brim and Viper can be viable. I think Omen, either Omen or either Omen or only Viper, and just two Sentinels or two Duelists maybe. Yeah, that will be more like it.
I highly recommend checking out the courses that we have available on the website. As I mentioned earlier, these are all made by Radiant One Tricks, who are
Hello,
going to teach you
Matches.
how to play these
Yeah.
agents to the best of their abilities. This is also all backed by our rank improvement guarantee, so if you don't find what you're looking for, then it is literally no
Dude, I
risk.
didn't even complete
Whether you
one
main an
page,
agent
bro, I
in
need
the
to
S
write
tier
fast.
all the way down to the D tier, there are guides for whoever you are
Okay.
looking to play that will hopefully
I
teach
want
you
something
something new.
long, maybe XQC.
These are all made by Radiant One Tricks, who are
Hello,
going to teach you
Matches.
how to play these
Yeah.
agents to the best of their abilities. This is also all backed by our rank.
Come on, XQC. He must be in my recommendation. Yep.
Guys. These, by the way, chat, guys, I'm letting you guys know ahead of time, chat. These are like the most degenerate viewers that we're gonna find. This is literally degenerate content. I'm telling you right now.
Felix.
Okay.
XQCL.
Let's go. First viewer, boys. First viewer.
D.
The man says, "Hey, XQC." Oh, Jesus Christ. When was that? It's. I'm sure you're gonna deny that. What is not you? Okay. Lame ass game. Not like this, Velthump. What a loser. Imagine just like playing this game. Try hard. Bro, this is all you play? Weirdo. Imagine all you play. Guys, this. Jesus Christ. The problem with this, chat, is that game complaining is already like a big frowned upon thing, especially somebody who doesn't chat and chat. If you don't chat a lot, and your only chat is all game complaints, it's gonna hard deny, dude. Game complainer never chats unless it's to complain. Also, check your language, young man. Mod comment. You already know, okay? This is guys. This is deny. Guys, when the mods say you already know, it's because what they said was with the old bot, and the old bot keeps log that Twitch doesn't have, because Twitch is kind of broken. Twitch doesn't have logs, and the bots do. And when they say, you know what it is, you know what it is. Yeah, that was weird. I'll unban him, it's not that big of a deal. This guy chats a lot. Just one-man spammer. Annoying. Stop being annoying. This is my Twitch, follow me. Deny? I followed. Please stream more often. You shoot. Wow. I didn't even know what topic about I wrote this. Deny. One message in chat. Literally a spoiler. No other value in chat. Okay.
Hey,
Guys,
Felix, I
the
just
way that
wanted to
I
say
deal with
thanks
bans
for
and unbans,
streaming
it's
you
simple
actually
concept.
kept it.
Depending
When I tried to end it 3 times
on
and
how
didn't
bad
work,
what you did
whenever I
is,
feel down
you
or
get more
depressed,
leeway and
I
you
watch
have
your
more chances of
videos
getting
and
unbanned,
will not live.
depending on the
Much
fact
love, brother man,
is if you have
XQCL.
more value. If you said it, I wanted you to see if you would notice. Deny. Noticed. Banned by Canvict. 2019. So we don't have the logs of this. He says, I'm deeply sorry for what I said. Something impulsive. I want to write. Second, I press enter. I'm not a very active chatter. I usually like to enjoy stream, but seeing chat makes it a lot more wholesome. All unban on the basis
I
that
wonder what
it's
my logs look like.
from Can and it's long time ago. You never know. It's fine. Go follow me. Deny. Followed. Okay, done. Next. Deny. I clicked the link and got free BTC. Thanks. Next. Wasting food. Feels bad. Your money's been yoinked.
एक
I'm
सेकंड
not even sure why I'm banned. Mods.
क्या चार्जर मेरे को चाहिए
चार्ज करने के लिए चाहिए माँ अच्छी तेल तो चाहिए ठीक है
38% है मेरा
Whoa! Deny. You know what you did. You know. Deny. Oh! One banned. Mods.
wow dude that's creative
Whoa! Deny. You know what you did. Weird. Sorry, it was a tip on my phone. I meant to call Kirby.
Yo XQC 2.5 years Bogu.
Bogu.
No. It's no shot. Absolutely no shot. This is why was I banned? Mod comments. I'm always banned this guy for plugging his Instagram on a resub message. Doesn't chat, but does that. When was it banned? 3 years ago? 3 years ago, you plugged. Stop. Okay, it's fine. It's not that bad. If you work on Andy, I've been provided my long absence. I'm always at Twitch. We did this all the time though. It's not even one time either. Moxie banned him. Yeah, it was annoying. Because back in the days, we used to play variety, and there's if you can end these, when we didn't give a shit, we were trying to enjoy different games, and these days were just fucking annoying. That's just annoying. I might just deny him, to be honest. It's been 3 years though. It's been 3 years. It's bad example to unban you. Do better. You do better. You do better.
कल कब्जा नहीं
Juice
किया,
World,
कल-
haha. Drug abuser,
कल क्या है?
degenerate, Omega lol.
कल क्या है वो तो मैं
वेडनेसडे है ना एक
Yeah,
सेकंड
that's just
देखता
weird.
हूँ
I'm gonna go ahead and not unban
Huh.
that actually. That's just kind of
फिर
weird.
बैक देना
Oh, not unban.
Oh.
I mean deny. That's just incredibly insensitive and weird. Yeah, that's just weird.
Okay,
that's just
dude.
weird. Maybe watch some clips. Watch some clips. Sanest top laner.
You should be spending the start of your stream in practice to last hitting creeps.
10 o'clock निकलना सुनिए
It is seriously embarrassing watching you miss creeps when there isn't an enemy Thank you Anonymous for gifting my
What the fuck is that,
You
dude?
should be spending the start of your stream in practice.
Guys, be a baited streamer, dude. Just tell them to shut up and just skip the no.
XQC isn't here. Hello?
What? I wasn't
What do you
there.
want?
I was never looking for advice, please.
Go ahead, X. I'm happy to help.
Okay. The problem that I have is that I'm too handsome, sexy, and successful and rich, and whenever I go to a place like a club or something, all the women are so after me that I end up drowning in pussy. It's become like a safety hazard. Any advice?
If you need like to get better perspective on your life, I would say try making a Tinder account and don't tell everybody your XQC, and then you can see how much of a fucking virgin loser fuck you would be. Okay, sans your fucking streaming career, you sad as fuck, Winston Main, GTA RP loser motherfucker.
Okay. Thanks for the advice. I'll try that, man.
Good luck,
See you
man.
later.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Yep.
Guys, what is this voice soundboard thing? Thanks for the advice. I'll try that, man.
See, and then you can see. If you need
Safety hazard, a club or something, sexy, and I'm too
X, I'm happy. XQC isn't here. Hello?
What? I wasn't
what do you
there.
want?
I was never looking for advice, please.
Go ahead, X. I'm happy to help.
Okay. The problem that I have is that I'm too handsome, sexy, and successful and rich, and whenever I go to a place like a club or something, all the women are so after me that I end up drowning in pussy. It's become like a safety hazard. Any advice?
If you need like to get better perspective on your life, I would say try making a Tinder account and don't tell everybody your XQC, and then you can see how much of a fucking virgin loser fuck you would be. Okay, sans your fucking streaming career, you sad as fuck, Winston Main, GTA RP loser motherfucker.
Okay. Thanks for the advice. I'll try that, man.
Good
See you
luck,
later.
man. I love you.
Good luck.
Bye.
Thank you.
Yep.
Guys, what is this voice soundboard thing?
SN make content with Maya. I just get so annoyed every time I remember that she exists.
Is this a wig?
It was a really good sponsor.
No. It's because
They genuinely
the
did.
camera's so good and the light reflection is.
Hey, just remembered you exist, and now I'm sad.
Tomorrow.
Jesus.
I'm gonna go play basketball. Oh yeah, I'll announce in the Discord if somebody's streaming. Hopefully. Never mind. I'll announce in the Discord if somebody's streaming. Yes.
It's too far.
Join the Discord if you're not already in there. Hey, just remembered you exist and now I'm sad. Dude, I was thinking about hosting you. I am so fucking glad that I'm not hosting you. Dude, I was thinking about hosting you. I am so fucking glad that I'm not hosting you.
Okay. This.
Thank you for the raid. I appreciate it, man. Much love, guys. Jubilee Refugee, your streamer
Taking
named
their
Jubilee.
tires, they can't drive.
Thank you for rating. I do appreciate it.
No, perdón.
You know, I'll try to keep the view. I'll try to keep your squad entertained. Thank you guys for supporting. I appreciate it. Welcome, welcome. Am I tripping out, dude? You guys trolling me? Hey, what the fuck's happening here? It's my old man moment right here where I just don't understand the meme that's going on. Just trying not to be.
It's because it's sizzling, guys. It's not because the microphone's broken. It's because shit's sizzling over here.
Is this salmon? Dude, this is dead. Wait, this salmon is...
It's sizzling.
What do you mean it looks bussin'? Dude, it's a salmon. Dude, you cook it skin side for a tiny bit, then you flip it for barely any time, just to give it that sear and that little bit of heat, right? And then you put it, if you want, but even on the side, done, boom, done.
Sizzling, guys.
It's done.
It's not because the microphone's broken. It's because shit's sizzling over here.
It's not the opposite. You cook it skin side for a long time, and then you flip it. Make the skin crispy. Okay, well, I didn't get to hear the rest of the take. Sanest Forzen Dono.
Awesome. I noticed your title. Hello, Mr. Force. Does that mean I didn't send you a link? Where is the title? Improve inventory management before speedrunning the game.
What is he thinking? No W.
Lord. Fuck.
Awesome. I noticed your title. Hello, Mr.
A rare
Force.
reaction.
Does that mean I didn't send you a link? Where is the title? Improve inventory management before speedrunning the game.
What is he thinking? No W.
Actually good, okay. Man, advice on how to get over a breakup. 200 comments. Jesus, zoom in on Caitlyn, please. Am I saying what we're all thinking? Ooh.
Zoom in on Caitlyn, please. T down bad. Please hurry.
Oh shit. That's best skin though by a long shot. Pink pool party.
There you go, bro.
Jesus. Guys, why is this deleted? Oh no, why is the other one deleted anyway? 200 comments. This has got to be worth watching, right? Canadian Alfonso Davies watching his team beat USA 2-0.
Come on, bro. This one looks too.
Please, why do you keep saying please twerk? I'm not gonna
That
fucking
is
twerk.
my best relationship advice. Is, you know, if you get broken up with and you're really, really sad, you figure out what they did to hurt you and how it hurt you and understand why it made you feel the way that it did. And then, you know, you do some processing, you collect yourself, you get back into the things that you love. And when I say back into the things that you love, I mean their father's asshole. You fuck their dad. And then you're over it.
That's funny.
Come on! That's kind of cool though. That's pretty wholesome. What is this? Yeah, is this soccer?
Look at the defense, dude.
guys, since you're Canadian, we call it Canadian soccer. Because in Canada, we call it soccer, right? So even if it's for you, it's football. If it's a Canadian watching his own sport, it's soccer. It's soccer. End of story. I don't want to hear it. Bitch ass. Canada will probably qualify for the World Cup.
On the back.
Absolutely.
Foot. Yeah, but you can do it. Listen, okay? What, are you racist? Not a good answer, dude. Wait.
Yes, Mel Gibson is
on the back.
Absolutely.
Jesus.
Do not fuck their dad unless they cheat on you.
What the fuck is this? Okay. Wow, rating ruins mental.
Help! Send them, dude!
I'm sending! Come on!
Okay. Boys, this is about most people on the nails a problem with the Pokemon.
There are 3 very obvious things that you can point out about this game that are objectively subpar given the 2020 time frame that it came out. This is a modern game.
The fucking map
Graphically, it is on
environment?
par with GameCube. Gale of Darkness looks almost to this level. Not quite as good. And that game came out in like 2008. The world is also extremely empty. The world is bland. Every single environment is the same copy and pasted environment from the first zone. It doesn't change, it doesn't evolve. There's plenty of real complaints, and pushing those aside is not valid just because you like it does make you a shill. There are 3 very obvious things that you...
Not wrong. Chat, I think the depth of mechanics of movements are so rudimentary. Guys, it's like, guys, why can't you climb, right? Why can't you climb? Isn't there any cliffs and why isn't there a lot of caves? Wasn't it? You can't. No, you can't really climb. You can't really climb. You can't. Shut up. Shut up. You can't. You don't get it though. You don't get it though. You don't get it though. Even if you could, even if you can, the map, the way it is, it's not cool or what is on the chat? Why is it being so contrarian all of a sudden? Huh? I did not play 1 hour. I played a lot of hours of the game. Guys, we're like late game. I have about 40 characters. That's like late game. Well, we're nearly, for sure, we're near the end of the game. Are we not?
Nah, bro. He played, yeah, he played half, I think.
And if this contestant can finish it, I built the world's most dangerous escape room, and if this contestant...
You seem quite a bit of a pickle. Guys, last night I figured out pickles are cucumbers. I'm not kidding. I was like, what the f? I thought pickles were just pickles that were pickled.
Balls, 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 balls.
I thought pickles were. I'm pretending. It's like a pickle, but it has to be pickled to be better. Otherwise, it's bad to eat. Oh my god! Oh my god! Where's the glass? Ah!
Yeah, I've seen this. Seen the whole video, dude. It was so funny, actually. Another scare coming.
Dude, listen, I've never ordered this. Okay, motherfucker! Oh shit! No, we out. No, we out. No, we out. We out. We out. We out. No! Dude, the sun is so fucking loud. It burned my ears drum. He truly knows what a fucking hoof looks like, man.
Look at the dirty ass chocolate nipples on the right. Oh my god.
Are you done? What the fuck?
Redness there's hemorrhage in the
What the fuck?
On here.
Guys, where do I live? Where am I right now? Ooh, Exoa P. Capola. Fucking Trilofos. Tresalon. Yo?
Hands up!
They saw me. He said, I think I see his feet. Damn, she got run over. I'm sorry, chat. This is about it for the day. Dude, we tried our best. We give it our all. It is what it is. We had, guys. When we look back at it, though, I think some of the tiers that we had today were really fucking good, and they were pretty fucking advanced. I'm gonna be honest. It wasn't just whatever dog shit. Then. Please not. Please not. Help! I'm done. I can't, dude. Dude,
Oh, yeah. Thank you for the $100,000, dude. Wait, what'd you say? I gave away my whole life savings to you because you influenced me a lot. Yeah.
I've seen this one.
That's crazy, dude. Enjoy poverty.
What?
What the fuck? What the fuck?
You know the definition of insanity?
It's being bald and thinking you're attractive. That's insanity right
No.
there.
Actually, I don't think I'm attractive.
Okay, then it's working at the PD and asking why you're broke. There you go.
No,
That's
it's
insanity.
you trying to open a door that's locked and it's clearly locked.
Oh, okay.
Come on, Mr. Fall, let's go.
Fucking different coloring. Oh my god. Dude, we just hit your mom.
Alright, funny man. We're going without a... No, we're doing no gun. No this either. No that. Let me check. These are fine, these are fine. Magnets are kind of useless. We'll keep them on though. Guys, is any of this illegal? I mean, in the game, of course. Nothing's illegal, right? It's all, we're not gonna get caught anything. Alright, we're good. Yes! What a weird vehicle, is it not?
Why would you stop in the middle of a fucking
No, I don't.
Stop in the middle of what, you fucking moron? I'm driving my family to the fucking camp so we could have a nice family outing, you fucking inconsiderate moron.
Yeah, well, when you're stopping, you're gonna get your family killed.
Stopping?
You fucking delinquent.
I'm 40 on the highway, going on a family outing. You're going 150.
Yeah, motherfucker, you're stopped on the middle of the highway with your fucking door open. What are you fucking doing? Having a picnic?
Anybody would be fucking stopped when you're going 160.
You're just fucking lucky I didn't kill your fucking family. You hear me?
Shit. Okay, man. Chill.
Yeah. I could have just completely destroyed your camper van there, man. Are you all right?
Let me finish my.
Okay.
I'm doing an 80-point turn. Okay, let me finish it.
Get everybody.
Fuck, man. You have to figure out about fucking magnets. Okay, you lost them already almost. The fuck you smoking, man?
क्या ले दो? Oh.
I know what I'm doing, brother. I know what I'm doing. My fingers are cool as fuck!
Fucking spit on it!
I feel like he's having fun.
There's a helicopter stuck here.
623.
Wait, there's people inside of it.
No, I don't want to die. I don't want to die.
terrorism?
They've already mentioned about getting a backup car. Hey, awkward news. I'm primary on
Want me to detach from here or
but
what?
I actually have to go in 10 minutes.
Oh god.
Still on the roof, 250?
Take off, Tails. Oh, you killed JP!
Break, units be advised 10:15 Alpha, Mission Road, switching forward.
You killed
Stand by.
Yeah,
Disregard. This is gonna be a Helion scene that eats.
3, 2, 3, 2, 2. 3, 3, 2, 3, 2, 2. 3, 3, 2, 3, 2, 2.
I mean, the same path that we came in, brother. Do you want me to help you?
Do not fall down.
Good shit, by the way, make you a fucking legend for that.
I fell down.
How never can win? How never can beat Chelsea? It's impossible. Why they cannot beat Chelsea? Fuck you, Chelsea. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. I hate Chelsea more than Arsenal, you know? Chelsea, I hate Chelsea more than Arsenal. It's the worst. You know what I mean? Fuck.
Jesus, dude.
I'm gonna bring some beer. I'm gonna bring some beer. No way.
Jesus, dude.
No way, no way. No way. It's
Yeah, I didn't know Spurs had fans.
कचरा है
I don't know what it is in the city, but
मेरे को
there's like some girls, like all the normal, right? Then there's some girls, and they got like a fat ass. I feel like you got one of these.
Oh, you're calling my ass fat?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I got a thick ass.
Okay.
If you ever want to test it, let me know.
Okay, I'll let you know. Jesus Christ. Hey, yo. What the fuck? Huh? What the?
मैं खांसना
मेरे सामने नहीं
सामने नहीं खांसना तेरा काम करना माँ को खान से आ रहा तभी मैंने मेरे सामने नहीं खांसना क्यों नहीं दिखा रहे इतने दिन
Stop!
कोई कोई है बोल तो कुछ भी आलो कर देगा
He's running out. Everybody out. Fuck it. Let's get out of here.
अटेंडेंस 20% ही चलता कदा कोई ड्रेस वालों को
नहीं रंजना को दूँ मामा क्लास का लीडर है
नहीं
अच्छा सेट करके वो अपने इमेज लास्ट तक वैसी रख लेना अच्छा बोली मत जरूरत क्या है नेगेटिव आ गया
Towards you, Wrangler. Heading
We
towards
can
you.
help our boy. So me and Juno are just gonna...
Taser deployed.
Cuff him.
Going for cuffs.
Cuff him.
Put your hands behind your back, my man. He's resisting. He's
Well, they're gonna
resisting.
pan you down regardless.
Yo, give me a pickup. Give me a pickup.
We're trying. We're trying.
outside,
We're coming.
I got cuffs. I got cuffs.
Wrangler's going for cuffs.
He's resisting. I don't have
resisting.
cuffs.
We could use the heli
He's
on the
heading out
roof,
the
maybe.
exit now, westbound.
We should have the heli on the roof. X, if you can get to rooftop.
Cars. Copy. I'm getting
grappled. He's grappling.
X, are you still running?
Sir, stop right there. Stop running. Stop running, sir. Right now. Stop it. Stop running, sir.
Guys, I'm happy.
Sir,
We're
stop
gonna
running.
radio station.
Sir, stop running. Stop running, sir.
Put it past the cup.
Radio off.
He's resisting.
Radio silence now. Look for text messages from Lang. Lang, you're texting on news channel.
June 16th. This happened to me when I was 19. I'm a little over 21 now. So he doesn't die. So at this point, we're chilling. I still remember this very clearly because of how creeped out I felt. I was a bit hesitant to ride out
Dude. Channel name M221 for sure, man.
Oh, I like your tattoo. Thanks, appreciate it. I just got it this year because I thought the world was ending. And then it didn't, and now it's awkward.
Okay, these look like... yeah, I'm just gonna say, check, guys. These outfits, these look like 3 glitched out NPCs from Cyberpunk that found fucking
Okay, so same question for everybody. Starting from contestant number 1. Yeah. If I had a really rough day and I came home and I was telling you about it, how would you comfort me?
Well, I first would need to learn your comforts. Like, are you a Netflix girl? Are you a blunt type person?
Look at dude. Top production Hollywood billion-dollar movies, dude. And look at these motherfuckers. Look at.
Buckingham Palace has announced the death of His Royal Highness the Duke of Edinburgh.
Damn.
Things are so difficult. So, shout out to his family.
What is that?
Hurry quickly now.
My name is Gustavo, but you can call me Sus.
Everybody jam up, it's time to slam now. We got a real jam going down.
Why is Yellow so bad? No, no.
果たして誰が今日伝説を作ることになるのか。小峠がまた中央突破。現在トップに立っている。右足がちょっと上がった。
No.
先ほどは頂上で大悟と
Who's like it? Who's like it?
小峠。最後全員落下。全員落下。生放送です。6分が。
Yo, you got it, bro? You good? Yo, you doing it? Oh, watch out. Yo, dude.
Is that Andy? This is actually Andy. Oh, jeez. Looks like Andy. The Valve guy.
What you gonna do if I broke into your house?
Check her out.
Nice. Oh, it's gonna evaporate then.
Wind phase.
That's another. Hi.
誰だお前は地獄からの使者スパイダーマン父とガリアの復讐を俺が果たす
Good one, dude.
Yeah, that bear is big. Oh, sorry.
Hi, buddy.
I got these new boobs.
Thank you for the raid. I appreciate it, man. Much love, guys. Jubilee Refugee. Your streamer named Jubilee. Thank you for raiding. I do appreciate it. I'll try to keep the view. I'll try to keep.
नहीं मालूम शायद 3 या 4.
Keep your squad entertained. Thank you guys for supporting. I appreciate it. Welcome. Am I tripping out, dude? You guys trolling me? Hey, what the fuck's happening here? It's my old man moment right here where I just don't understand the meme that's going on. Just try not to be.
It's because it's hot outside today, ain't it?
How much is the chips?
You getting some food for your dog?
What the hell you think I'm getting for my fucking zebra?
You getting some food for your dog?
What the hell you think I'm getting it for my fucking zebra?
Look at the ram broke.
Jesus!
I love bang
I
energy
don't
drinks.
care.
You're throwing
I
me.
don't give
Man, let me give you my business card.
I don't know who you think you are.
I'm the card narc,
But
I
don't
told
ever
you.
tell somebody with a disability it's lazy bonesitis.
You got a pretty good throwing arm for someone with a disability.
Throwing arm, it's my back.
I gotta use your back to throw. Would you like my business card or not?
Damn.
So you're here to learn how to become a femboy, right? Well, I'm here to provide you with my personal guide on how to become a femboy.
So, growing.
What?
Here comes.
Ooh.
Johnny Bro predicts VTubers. You see kids about you. What is that?
Stinks. Come on, Carl. Let's get out of here. Carl.
This is the happiest day of my life.
What?
Unlucky.
How could you pick him? He's not even a chick. He's a guy.
Well, I suppose I can admit it now.
I'm a guy. So am I. Me too. I'm a guy. 100% you asked me. Stinks. Come on, Carl. Let's get out of here. Carl.
It's not on the part, you doofus. Yo, my hand.
Alright, bro. Good night.
Good night.
Is that officer? Hey, is that officer? My ears are bursting earlier, so I better give me some treatment for my ears. Alright, it is what it is, brother.
Let's go. I'll help you out. I'll let you got him.
I got him.
It is what it
Thank you,
is.
sir.
Not what I meant, but
I don't know what you said. My ears are bursting
Okay, I'm just giving this guy attempted murder and possession. For resisting, anything else?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's Tommy with the weather. Today we'll be expecting heavy northeastern winds due to the tropical weather down in the south.
No, yellow is gonna try to go forward faster. Push him! Push him!
I heard that thieves broke into the Arcane University, the Imperial Legion compound, and the temple all on the same night. Wait a minute, let me do that one again. I heard that thieves broke into the Arcane University.
As a voice actor, you're very prohibited, but once you introduce face capture, it's like you've opened a portal to a whole new dimension of acting. Think of all the mystery and nuance and expression.
This is special. Oh, that horn gives me the chills. And the chills have absolutely nothing to do with how cold it is here.
I pointed to the car and said, hey, is this your car? And you gave me the finger. Did you not?
No, I hear you.
Yeah, ask you nicely. I'm saying, please return your car. Okay, here comes the flag. Sir, would you...
my car.
Sir, I'm highly trained in Cat McGaw. Let me help you out here. Yes, sir, that's true. I am. Can you please take your cart back, sir?
No.
Why not? Because I asked you? I did too, and you flipped me off. I said...
Oh my god.
Or are you going?
Chat, I can think of Sister Chat when he's not moving, but the shoes are, dude. Look at it.
Tonight, DeAndre, you tell me, are you staying or are you going?
I feel like I was born to be here.
Chris Fides is feeding it out to that 4-5-4 down lane. And look at this pin action. Oh.
Spider Spring!
逃げてください。藤田博士。
Spider-Man!
I'm getting it. Oh, she's gonna come back? Yeah.
Exactly did you see them take?
They was working on the tires. That's all that was took.
Who have thought?
About what?
That a young buck like you could actually do the right thing and avoid getting his sorry butt kicked out the game.
Now, the key word here is...
About what?
That a young buck like you could actually do the right thing and avoid getting his sorry butt kicked out the game.
Now, the key word here is anger.
Playing like this.
That's right. We all have that attitude. The train will be rolling in no time. Let's do it.
Yeah, hell yeah. Bring up Death Stranding now.
He brought my son.
This guy came in and just read the line, dude.
Much talent, and we work too hard to be playing like this.
That's right. We all have that attitude. The train will be rolling in no time. Let's do it.
My competitor might think I'm a hillbilly backwoods.
Hey, Hank. You
You know, I've been thinking about y'all and y'all dang old bottom and all what's gonna get moving again. I think y'all ought to go jogging and swimming in the water bunch, man. They're gonna be bad having you pooping just like you used to, man. I know it's gonna work.
Woods redneck, but my food is slap your mama good.
Okay.
Guys, you wanna know what the bees do? Guys, they go to the nest and they make some honey.
Dude. Easy. I don't even know where he went.
Ever just when you see a woman.
But by combining all 3 Hitmans, now you have 21 levels.
Talking to you, sir.
You talking to me? Step into my office.
Okay,
The maps
dude.
are monstrous in scope, but up to me. Step into my office.
Okay,
The maps
dude.
are monstrous in scope, but also meticulous in detail. Forget it.
People, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.
Who you messing with? Who you playing with? Who you messing with? Who you playing with? Who you messing with?
People are retarded.
You stand a chance to have cred pay 100% of your tax for this year. But you have to pay your credit card bills today for that to happen. Pinned comment mein, you guys can check out that link. You can click that link, go check out cred and pay your bills to stand a chance.
क्रेड बस लोगों को पैसा देते रहता है क्या?
हाँ
भाई मैं क्रेड का एक बिलबोर्ड देखा था, माँ कसम एक बिलबोर्ड था, उस पे बस क्रेड लिखा हुआ था भाई।
हाँ
और कुछ भी नहीं था।
हाँ बढ़िया था ना?
मतलब वो लोग बस पैसा दे रही जनता को बस।
हाँ
अरे वो कमा कैसे रहा है वो?
अरे तो तू जिनकी बात कर रहा है समय वो यही तो है जिनको
नहीं वो होर्डिंग I had nothing to do with that hoarding.
वो आइडिया किसने बेचा था कि एक होर्डिंग को जिसपे बस क्रेड लिखो छोड़ दो?
वो किसने भेजा था भाई वो आइडिया?
नहीं मैंने भेजा नहीं था, ये मेरा आइडिया नहीं था।
I've seen this billboard by the way.
इसमें-
It was in Hyderabad. Yeah.
किसका क्या आइडिया था?
Just cred.
इसमें just there.
आइडिया कहाँ था?
Anyway, thank you for making fun of sponsor. Thank you very much, Samay. Appreciate it very much. Can't wait to come on Chess Super League and make fun of Neelkant Bhanu for 20 minutes back to back. Anshuman, let's go through it. What happened? Why was this year's budget interesting? What was special? Gaurang, before we start, any thoughts? Was it an exciting budget?
I think they had to do like every budget. This budget they couldn't mess around with because this is the
actual pre-election budget. If you think of it, this is their test for the middle class where there is no jobs. So if they did too much, it would have backfired on them. And so it's like one of those precursor of the 2023 budget, which is the next year will be the main one.
Got it. Okay.
No,
okay.
it's too small.
Cool. Anshuman, I've given you
start
share screen access.
Yeah.
Share screen
Firstly,
access
guys, बहुत सारा confusion है, तो अगर कुछ ऊपर नीचे हुआ तो माफ, आज के लिए माफी चाहूंगा. चलो स्टार्ट करते हैं. अब कुछ भी बोल सकते हैं हम इस डिस्क्लेमर के बाद.
कुछ भी नहीं बोल सकते हम. ये किसने बोला कुछ भी बोल सकते हम?
कौन सा स्क्रीन दिख रहा है? पीपीटी दिख रहा है?
पीपीटी दिख रहा है.
क्रिप्टो पे 100% टैक्स भरना है दोस्तों.
नहीं, that's not true.
ठीक है, चलो सबसे पहले समय निशान तन्मय के आप लोग को पता है कि ये यूनियन बजट होता क्या है और क्यों है ये?
नहीं, समझाओ प्लीज.
ठीक है, तो यूनियन बजट एक ब्लूप्रिंट है कि अभी फरवरी है, जो फाइनेंशियल ईयर नेक्स्ट है वो अप्रैल 1 को स्टार्ट होने वाला है. सो दिस बजट इज बेसिकली अ प्लान कि हम अगले साल कैसे पैसे खर्चा करने वाले हैं, कहाँ पे खर्चा करने वाले हैं और कैसे कमाने वाले हैं. सो एवरी बजट हैज टू पार्ट्स. वन इज द रेवेन्यू बजट वेयर दे टॉक अबाउट कैसे रेवेन्यू कमाएंगे. सो गवर्नमेंट का सबसे बड़ा रेवेन्यू सोर्स है टैक्सेस. तो इसलिए हर बजट के पहले इनकम टैक्स कम करो, इनकम टैक्स बढ़ाओ, ऐसे लोग बातें करते रहते हैं. और द दूसरा एंड द सेकंड पार्ट इज कैपिटल बजट, व्हिच बेसिकली टॉक्स अबाउट वेयर द गवर्नमेंट प्लान्स टू स्पेंड देयर मनी, कैसे लोन्स देंगे, किन किन को अपने ऑफर्स देंगे, वैसा है. सो दिस इज इन अ नटशेल द यूनियन बजट. ये हर साल 1 फरवरी को होता है.
ओके, और ये हर साल हमारा इंट्रो भी इसी के साथ होता है. ठीक है.
यस, सेम. ठीक है, अब आज के दिन के
हैंग हो गया अंशुमन.
तीन मेरे ख्याल से बोलना चाह रहा था.
वर्ड्स से जो बहुत बार यूज किए गए, एफएम ने बहुत बार यूज.
हैंग हो रहा है तू. तेरा वीडियो लैग हो रहा है.
अंशुमन भाई थोड़ा नेट के लिए बजट निकालो ना.
हाँ, अब ठीक है, अब बेटर है. हाँ.
अब ठीक है. हाँ चलो. हाँ, तो इस साल के 3 बज़वर्ड्स थे जो फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर ने बहुत ज्यादा यूज किया है. फर्स्ट इज अमृतकाल. ठीक है, तो 75 इयर्स जब इंडिया का इंडिपेंडेंस हुआ था, तब उस दिन नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने बोला था कि अगले 25 साल का हम एक ऐसा प्लान बनाने वाले हैं कि इन द नेक्स्ट 25 इयर्स, वंस इंडिया कंप्लीट्स 100 इयर्स ऑफ इंडिपेंडेंस, इंडिया विल बी द नंबर 1 कंट्री इन एवरी इंडस्ट्री. सो दैट इज द अमृतकाल. एंड आज के बजट में भी ये वर्ड बहुत ज्यादा यूज हुआ है कि अगले 25 साल हम लोग का जो आज का प्लान है वो लॉन्ग टर्म प्लान है. हमारे जो स्पेंड्स भी है वो ऐसा होगा कि अगले 20-25 साल में इंडिया टॉप की कंट्री होगी. सो दैट्स
अच्छा, माय ओपिनियन, इंडिया को टॉप पे नहीं लाना है, लोगों को लाना है ब्रो. लोग वही रहेंगे तो रिचर गेटिंग रिचर.
So 2047, right? 1947.
थोड़ा वेज गैप कम करना है.
47. तो अभी 25 साल बचे हैं. अच्छा, तो अमृतकाल is India's run up to 100 years of independence. Got it.
Yes. The second is PLI, production linked incentives. ठीक है, तो ये लास्ट ईयर ये चीज अनाउंस की गई थी. और उसमें बेसिकली क्या होता, मेक इन इंडिया को ज्यादा से ज्यादा सपोर्ट देने के लिए वो बोल रहे कि आप इंडिया में ये सारी चीजें बनाओ, बहुत सारे इंडस्ट्रीज को बोला, और उसके ऊपर हम तुम लोग को इंसेंटिवाइज करेंगे. सो फॉर एग्जांपल, एक है आईटी हार्डवेयर में, इफ अ कंपनी इज प्रोड्यूसिंग लैपटॉप्स, ऑल इन वन पीसीज और एनी सर्वर्स इन इंडिया, देन दे गेट अराउंड 1 to 4% इंसेंटिव ऑन इंक्रीमेंटल सेल्स फॉर द नेक्स्ट 4 to 5 years.
Okay, this is
ये प्रोडक्शन, इस इंसेंटिव की वजह से आज फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर ने बोला कि ऑलमोस्ट 60 लाख जॉब्स बनने वाले इन द लॉन्ग रन.
Oh, excellent. Okay, got it.
And that's a very big thing because in the pandemic, during the pandemic, almost 10 से 20 करोड़ जॉब्स गए हैं.
मैं और मेरा बस बड़ा हुआ है जॉब एक. बाकी तो सबका खराब ही हुआ है भाई.
नहीं, बट थिंक ऑफ इट लाइक, अगर आपका इंसेंटिव अगर सरकार आपको नंबर ऑफ स्ट्रीम्स में देती, right? So the more streams that you do, the better incentive that will happen. And their assumption की streams से फिर उसका network effect आएगा. That is basically what they're doing. And
so they're giving 1% like tax exemption, or they're giving 1% what?
जो incremental sales होगा ना हर साल, अगर आप पीसी बनाते हो तो अगर लेट्स से लास्ट ईयर आपका 100 रुपए का सेल किया, इस साल 110 रुपए का सेल हुआ, तो उस 10 रुपए में गवर्नमेंट बोल रही है 10 रुपए के ऊपर मैं तुम्हें 1% से 4% के बीच दूंगा इंसेंटिव।
सेल पे,
यस सेल पे
और पैसा मिलेगा सामने से।
And are there any incentives for production of children during pandemic?
ये बात आज की नहीं है,
आज की नहीं क्या?
आज
okay,
नहीं
okay.
की।
वो
Maybe
fine
next
print
time.
footnotes में क्या होगा वो?
Exactly.
Got it.
And the third word is PPP. Constantly PPP बोला है उन्होंने, which is public-private partnerships. So बहुत सारे जो आगे जाके projects आएंगे, that will be in collaboration with a private company, and the government will support them. ठीक है?
Okay.
चलो. Next is what was the budget focused on? ठीक है, तो इस साल का बजट एक्चुअल में कोई भी गवर्नमेंट के लिए कभी भी वो अपना फाइनेंशियल प्लान बना रही होती है, उनके लिए दो चीजें बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होती है, एक होता है इंटरेस्ट रेट और एक होता है इन्फ्लेशन। आज के दिन यूएस में तो रिकॉर्ड इन्फ्लेशन है और इंडिया में भी इन्फ्लेशन धीरे धीरे बढ़ रहा है, बट इट्स स्टिल इन द लिमिट। तो गवर्नमेंट ने बोला हम इन्फ्लेशन में इस बार ज्यादा ध्यान नहीं देंगे, हम इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर और कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर में ज्यादा ध्यान देंगे, हम पैसा खर्च करेंगे।
समझाओ कैपेक्स क्या होता है गौरव?
ठीक है,
व्हाट इज कैपेक्स?
कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर मतलब जो आप अपने लाइक फैक्ट्री बनाते हैं कभी, तो फैक्ट्री का लैंड लेना, उसमें मशीनरी लेना, उसका मतलब शेड बनाना, which is basically not done for capital. So there is capital expenditure and there is recurring expenditure. तो let's say मतलब फैक्ट्री में मैं टॉफी बना रहा हूँ, तो टॉफी की मशीन, लैंड, वो सब कैपेक्स होगा। बट अगर मैं टॉफी बनाने के लिए द चॉकलेट रैपर,
recurring cost,
that is all operational expenses. So capital expenditure typically are for a long term, right? So that is what the government wants to focus on, because if we don't invest in infrastructure, we will not have those benefits coming around. And it's a very good sign that we are dedicating ourselves to continuously increase this.
Got it.
35% बहुत छोटा अमाउंट नहीं, मतलब ये बहुत ही बड़ा है। It's literally our income tax return, मतलब जितना हम कमाते हैं सिर्फ डायरेक्ट टैक्स से, वो 7.5 लाख करोड़ के आजू बाजू ही है वो अमाउंट, राइट?
So when the government says that they are increasing capex target expanded by 30%, means the government is going to spend on like fixed cost for long-term plans, like infrastructure cost. It's almost like spending on like
road infrastructure हो गया, public transport development हो गया, और ये सारों की वजह से jobs भी create होगी ना बहुत टाइम तक। लेट्स से एक नया रेलवे स्टेशन बन गया, उस रेलवे स्टेशन को मेंटेन करने के लिए दे आर क्रिएटिंग ऑलमोस्ट 50 to 100 जॉब्स। सो इन दिस प्रोसेस जॉब ज्यादा बन रही है।
So 35% of the tax will go into this.
नहीं, कैपेक्स टारगेट वाज एक्सपेंडेड बाय 35%, मतलब पिछले साल जो भी था टारगेट उससे 35% बढ़ा है इस साल।
100 था तो 135 हो गया।
अच्छा कैपेक्स बाय लोन, ओके।
हाँ, लास्ट ईयर गवर्नमेंट ने 100 रुपए खर्च किया था, इस बार 135
रुपए, तो 5.5 लाख करोड़ से 7.5 लाख करोड़ रुपया खर्चा होगा ऑन थिंग्स लाइक डेवलपमेंट ऑफ रोड्स, लॉजिस्टिक कॉस्ट रिडक्शन, पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट वगैरह वगैरह वगैरह।
यस,
तो समझा तू?
यस।
अगर समय को समझ में आ गया ना, तो मतलब सक्सेसफुल स्ट्रीम रहा है बस। चलो,
उसमें पॉकेट में कितना जा रहा है पॉलिटिशियंस के पॉकेट में? एट लास्ट कोई तो लाइक सुपरवाइज करेगा ना, जो भी करेगा उसके पॉकेट में 30% अमाउंट जा रहा है। स्पेकुलेशन।
चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं।
ठीक है, नेक्स्ट इज एग्री सेक्टर। ठीक है, पिछले 2 सालों में नया फार्म बिल आने की वजह से बहुत सारा उनको भी बहुत ज्यादा उनको हो रहे थे प्रोटेस्ट, एंड देन दे टुक अवे द फार्म बिल्स। एंड इस बार के बजट में उन्होंने बोला है कि दे विल प्रोक्योर पैडी एंड व्हीट डायरेक्टली फ्रॉम द फार्मर्स एट मिनिमम सपोर्ट प्राइस। एंड इस प्रोसेस में वो लोग 2.37 लाख करोड़ खर्च कर रहे हैं डायरेक्ट फार्मर्स से उनका पैडी और व्हीट लेने के लिए।
डायरेक्ट फार्मर्स से खरीदने में खर्चा मैं समझा नहीं गौरव, व्हाट डज दिस मीन?
तो देखिए, टिपिकली क्या होता था कि फार्मर्स गो टू मंडीज, राइट, एंड दे सेल टू मंडीज अराउंड द सेम, and then the government has their own godowns, right, which is basically the where they store grains or rice or whatever the essential commodities in agriculture. Now what is happening is that government needs to basically portray, see, procurement always happened directly, It is not that, but through the mandi system. But what the government is saying that, it's trying to portray that we are actually now continuing the traditional philosophy. बीच में क्या कह रहे थे कि we will eliminate the mandis and any company, it's market forces that will define. अब government बोल रहा है कि minimum price. So let's say 1 kilo गेहूं, let's say 50 रुपए में, they're defined. They will buy directly in the farmer, and when farmer comes to the mandi, the money will go directly to the farm. In that case, which has always been happening. I think they're re-emphasizing this. That ऐसा नहीं है कि हमने किसानों को भूल गए. And this is also, see, budget is nothing but way to portray your priorities.
Got it.
And change public perception. Right? So it's in a way, this statement is more public perception wise, but it's basically reconfirming कि भैया हम आपको आपसे directly लेंगे, आप चिंता मत करिए.
Got it. Okay.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. The next thing is agri-tech aa raha hai. Ye log, they are basically deploying Kisan drones for all things so that, bring in technology in agriculture and make everything more efficient. And third thing is chemicals or fertilizers ke recently बहुत ज़्यादा prices बढ़ गए. So the government is saying कि we will actually try to promote natural and organic farming ताकि farmers का cost कम हो. And the last part is a domestic plan will be introduced so that India का जो oil seed, India में oil seed नहीं होता तो import करना पड़ता है. तो import dependence कम करने के लिए ताकि सब कुछ make in India हो, एक plan बनेगा ताकि India में ही oil seeds भी बने.
ये सॉरी, तो इसमें अभी कैसे रिलायंस करता है ये? अच्छा,
वो रिलायंस इज रिलायबिलिटी.
मेरे को लगा कि रिलायंस के रिलायंस का बिजनेस कैसे काट सकता
है? लगा कि डोमेस्टिक स्कीम अभी रिलायंस को कट कर रहा है.
हिंदी ट्रांसलेशन सीधा
कर लो सनफ्लावर मुट्ठी में. चलो. Okay, got it. To cut reliance on oilseed imports.
Yes.
Okay, तो एक मिनट, गवर्नमेंट्स ये डोमेस्टिक स्कीम क्या था? ये डोमेस्टिक स्कीम
सिर्फ बोला है कि प्लान आ रहा है.
अच्छा, गॉट इट. ओके.
हाँ.
तो जस्ट टू दैट कॉन्टेक्स्ट के लिए, वी इंपोर्ट मोस्ट ऑफ आवर ऑयल. सो मोस्ट ऑफ आवर कुकिंग ऑयल इज ऑल इंपोर्टेड, स्पेशली फ्रॉम इंडोनेशिया एंड अदर पार्ट्स, राइट?
सारा
मेजॉरिटी ऑफ इट.
सारा थोड़ी होगा भाई.
हम ना वो कहते हैं ना कि वी बिलीव वी हैव अ लॉट ऑफ सनफ्लावर हमारे देश में बहुत है, बट that is only one oil, right? We have groundnut oil, we have lots of other versions of cooking oil. Mustard oil. So most of our cooking, and this is directly affecting because वो price बढ़ रहा है, and वो सीधा मतलब it affects the poorest of poor, right? In a way, because oil is the base of it. That's one of the reasons Indians eat, and this is slightly digressing, but Indians have parachute use करते हैं खाने के लिए.
खाने में, हाँ.
Right? Most of South is that the case because it's the cheapest form of oil.
Yeah.
What?
Digressing, but Indians have parachute use करते हैं खाने के लिए.
खाने में, हाँ.
Right? Most of South is that the case because it's the cheapest form of oil.
No shot, bro. No shot, bro. I thought that was only for her.
Yeah.
Available.
निशान भाई, इंडिया में एक्स्ट्रा वर्जिन ऑलिव ऑयल डोमेस्टिकली बहुत बनता है क्योंकि वी हैव लॉट्स ऑफ एक्स्ट्रा वर्जिन्स.
बे यार, घटिया जोक.
But हाँ, so they are saying
it's actually
sorry.
भाई मैं समझ नहीं पा रहा हूँ घोड़ा रिस्पेक्टेबल है कि नॉट रिस्पेक्टेबल है भाई. एक बार क्लियर कर दो ना, ये भी बजट में बीच में.
नहीं, जोक था. आगे बढ़ते.
ठीक है. नेक्स्ट इज टेलीकॉम सेक्टर. ठीक है, जैसे ही अनाउंसमेंट आई गाइस, एयरटेल का प्राइस 1145 को कुछ था X और सडनली शूट हो गया 1 सेकंड के अंदर, क्योंकि ऐसा बोला है कि जो 5G इंडिया में आने के लिए जो ऑक्शंस होंगे, वो ऑक्शन अभी उन लोगों ने अनाउंस कर दिया है 2022 में होने
तो
वाला है।
एयरटेल का क्यों शूट अप हुआ?
क्योंकि जियो लिस्टेड नहीं है तो बचा एयरटेल, तो एयरटेल
रिलायंस तो कट आउट हो ही गया है।
जियो लिस्टेड नहीं है मतलब मैं समझा नहीं, एक्सप्लेन करो गौरंग।
नहीं तो रिलायंस इज लिस्टेड, ऐसा नहीं है कि जियो इनडायरेक्टली लिस्टेड ही है ना, मतलब जियो इज पार्ट ऑफ आरआईएल ग्रुप, राइट? इट वाजंट दैट। सी द थिंग इज द जियो ने जितना 4G में इन्वेस्टमेंट किया है, राइट, दे नीड टू रिकूपरेट देयर इन्वेस्टमेंट एंड दे टिपिकली ये ना मतलब ओवर मेनी इयर्स यू हैव टू रिकूपरेट, बिकॉज़ वो याद है पहले साल पूरा फ्री दिया था, दैट्स हाउ ऑल ऑफ अस गॉट अट्रैक्टेड टू इट। नाउ एयरटेल एज अ काउंटर स्ट्रेटजी इज एक्चुअली क्लेमिंग दैट दे आर 5G रेडी, राइट, एंड अज्यूमिंग कि वोडाफोन आइडिया का इंटरनल चैलेंजेस अभी मतलब मीट होते होते विल दे हैव इनफ मसल पावर टू इन्वेस्ट और बिड हाई अमाउंट, राइट? नाउ
Money
Jio,
power.
given that they have too much money, they will also bid for it and they will get it, but Jio का recovery would have taken, or at least they were hoping
Bro,
that ये 1-2 साल
they'll
और
just
delay
go-
हो, and the
They'll just go in losses, bro. They got shit ton of money. If they can just, if others would agree, then they will get it. They got no shortage of money.
reason the government is doing this, right? Auction से बहुत पैसा आता है, right? And इस साल अपना जो डेफिसिट है, मतलब जो हम लोग मतलब there is a revenue, मतलब गैप है अपना रेवेन्यू और खर्चा में, वो बढ़ गया है एवरेज में। नॉर्मली 3 से 4% था लास्ट 10 साल में, कोविड की वजह से ये 6.5 9.5 तक गया है, which is very concerning. उसको कम करने के लिए ऑक्शन से क्या होता है कि बहुत पैसा आ जाता है suddenly, because it's one time income, right? And that is why it's a very pro positive Airtel this thing, and that's why Airtel has gone up. Plus वो Google ने भी पैसा डाला, so they will have, Airtel will have lots of money to pour into the auction. Hence they will outbid or get more towers and so on and so forth.
ये ऑक्शन किसके लिए रहेगा? Will it be to for 5G के लिए एक ही को मिलेगा?
टावर्स।
So ये
नेटवर्क कितना बड़ा होगा?
अच्छा, आपको याद है अपना 2G 3G 4G?
हाँ, जो स्कैम्स थे।
हाँ वो
जब समय 10th में था।
हाँ 2G नेटवर्क थोड़ी था, वो तो स्कैम था। हाँ फिर
तो बेसिकली क्या होता है कि सी एनी ऑफ द स्पेक्ट्रम इज ऑक्शनड आउट। नाउ गवर्नमेंट ओन्स द नेटवर्क, राइट, एंड carves out different hertz or basically frequency, right? And these are auctioned and these are basically given to the highest bidder. So each circle में wise होता है. So दिल्ली का अलग होगा, बॉम्बे का अलग होगा, महाराष्ट्र का अलग होगा. So that's divided circle wise, and then there's a bid to it. So you get X amount of, so whoever has highest coverage, right, and the better network will eventually, customers will flock there, and their revenue will go there.
Got it.
हर 3-4 साल as the technology expands, they auction this spectrum.
तो इसमें प्लेयर सिर्फ एयरटेल और रिलायंस ही अभी, जियो
वोडाफोन भी है, but we don't know if they'll have the financial muscle, right, to outbid and get more number of spectrum.
First of all, what is a Vodafone? It's V.
उसका शेयर पे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ा?
देखना पड़ेगा, मतलब I have not checked it, but पढ़ना तो मतलब
एक्चुअली वोडाफोन और एयरटेल बहुत टाइम तक खुद बोल रहे थे कि इस स्पेक्ट्रम को, ये जो ऑक्शन है उसको डिले करो, क्योंकि उनको जो जियो के आने की वजह से जो झटका लगा था, वो झटके के बीच वो इतना बड़ा कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर नहीं कर पाते, एंड दैट्स व्हाई दे वर एक्चुअली डिलेइंग द प्रोसेस, एंड जियो वाज लाइक चलो 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 चलो। पर लास्ट 1 साल में गूगल से भी, मतलब एयरटेल ने भी बाहर से इन्वेस्टमेंट उठाया, एयरटेल ने अपने प्राइसेस भी हाइक किए, एयरटेल के न्यू सब्सक्राइबर्स एवरी क्वार्टर भी स्टेडीली ग्रो हो रहा है। So Airtel is also at a very comfortable position as of now if we compare it with like 2 years back.
So bro, the prices, bro, they're shit high. I don't know why I have Airtel, but I just have. Maybe I'll change it to Jio, but Jio has good network and they are cheap. Airtel is just costly, dude. The internet is good, just as good as Jio, but shit ton of money.
Vodafone नहीं चढ़ा बिल्कुल, मतलब it's only 0.5% up, मतलब it's obviously
Vodafone does not have the financial capability to even participate in that auction. ऐसा चल रहा है,
मतलब government owns Vodafone, by the way, they own some 30% of the this thing, so सरकार चलाती है भी आजकल।
इतना क्यों खर्चा आ रहा है फिर वोडाफोन को?
नहीं खर्चा नहीं, मतलब वोडाफोन का जो पीछे के डेट्स है ना, वो ही उन्होंने रीपे नहीं कर पाए, राइट, बिकॉज़ दे हैव नॉट इंक्रीज्ड देयर रेवेन्यू एज दे वुड हैव प्लान्ड।
अरे ब्रो, कुत्ता रेंट करना बहुत महंगा होता है, तेरे को पता नहीं? इतना वो लोग ने ऐड शूट किया, अब तेरे को पता नहीं, जूजू इतना भाव का था यार, वो बहुत चार्ज करता है ऐड वाइड करने के लिए। ओके अंशुमन आगे बढ़ते।
या तो ये हो गया। दूसरी चीज है कि एक यूएसओ फंड होता है विच इज यूनिवर्सल सर्विस ऑब्लिगेशन, ठीक है। अब अगर जो प्राइजेस है टेलीकॉम कम्युनिटी या इंटरनेट का प्राइजेस, इफ इट ओनली डिपेंड्स ऑन द मार्केट फैक्टर्स कि मार्केट जो सप्लाई डिमांड है और जो कंपनीज दे रही है वही अगर डिसाइड करेंगे, तो बैकवर्ड एरियाज और नॉन अर्बन एरियाज में वो कभी पहुंच ही नहीं पाएगा। तो इसलिए गवर्नमेंट ने एक फंड बनाया, यूएसओ फंड। उसमें क्या बोलती है, जितने भी ऑपरेटर्स है दे हैव टू गिव अ स्मॉल पार्ट ऑफ देयर रेवेन्यूज इनटू दिस फंड। और ये फंड से वो लोग क्या करते हैं, दे बेसिकली ट्राई टू डेमोक्रेटाइज इंटरनेट एंड अदर बेसिक फैसिलिटीज। सो 5% ऑफ दिस फंड विल नाउ गो इन R&D कि कैसे 5G और 4G को भी एकदम, है ना, हर गांव तक पहुंचा पाए, एक्सेसिबल कर पाए।
मतलब जहां रिलायंस जियो पहुंचा नहीं वहां भी इंटरनेट चाहिए अभी।
तो फिर गेम ऑफ फ्लीट स्ट्रीम कैसे करता है तन्मय भाई अभी?
पता नहीं, वो कुछ तो कर रहा होगा यार, वो कुछ एक्स्ट्रा टेक्नोलॉजी।
गेमर फ्लीट अपना खुद का टावर लगाएगा, उसने भी इतना छाप लिया है कि हल्द्वानी का ऑक्शन फ्लीट ही जीत रहा
है। नाइस, ओके। नेक्स्ट, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स फॉर लेइंग ऑप्टिकल फाइबर इन विलेजेस टू बी अवॉर्डेड अंडर भारत नेट प्रोजेक्ट अंडर PPP।
इधर आया PPP।
यार मेरे अंधेरी खार वेस्ट में बराबर ऑप्टिकल फाइबर मेरे को कनेक्शन मिल नहीं रहा था ढंग का। या गांव तक ऑप्टिकल फाइबर पहुंचने वाला है। दैट्स ग्रेट। इससे अच्छा गांव ही शिफ्ट हो जाते हैं यार।
अभी कहाँ हो आप?
अभी बैंगलोर में हो। यहाँ पे है। मेरे को पता, अंशुमन ये क्या अपडेट है, जरा समझाओ।
PPP मतलब वही पब्लिक प्राइवेट पार्टनरशिप। वो बोल रहे कि गांव वो टेंडर्स लेंगे कि किसको इंटरेस्ट है, फिर बाद में उन लोग के साथ काम करके हर गांव के नीचे मतलब ज्यादा से ज्यादा कनेक्टिविटी बढ़ाने की कोशिश करेंगे।
और ये भारत नेट प्रोजेक्ट नया है या एग्जिस्टिंग है?
काफी पुराना है, मतलब इट्स बीन पार्ट ऑफ दिस गवर्नमेंट दैट दे हैव बीन ट्राइंग टू ले ऑप्टिकल फाइबर्स अक्रॉस द कंट्री। मतलब कहते हैं कि रास्ता ना बने पानी ना पहुंचे
इंटरनेट तो पहुंच जाएगा भाई,
टिकटॉक चलना चाहिए।
तो ये बड़ी पुरानी स्कीम है इनकी, एंड इट्स एक्चुअली वेरी गुड थिंग, राइट? बिकॉज वी हैव टू प्रोवाइड इट नाउ। इंटरनेट इज नाउ अ बेसिक फैसिलिटी like roads, food, education. तो
इंटरनेट probably more important than
हम तीनों से पूछा था सर, कुछ भी नहीं।
कुछ रास्ता तो चाहिए नहीं,
हमारी दुकान चलती रहे।
हाँ कि see, if you don't have road it's fine, but if you have internet you can see a picture of a nice road, right? At least you know what a road is. किसने सुपर चैट किया? अनिरुद्ध ने, अच्छा है सुप्रीम लीडर ज्वाइन हुआ, अब हमारे जैसे लोगों का फालतू सवाल का भी जवाब मिल जाएगा। यस, समय is here for LCD, for representation of the masses. Does this capex money go into fitness industry as well? For example, setting up of gyms?
भाई नको यार ये सब। कम करो इसका बजट, कम करो जिम का यार।
तो गवर्नमेंट won't directly spend on gyms for sure.
बढ़िया, I like government already.
Government starting copper gym, comparator to gold gym.
बट ऐसे कैपेक्स एक और चीज होती है, हर इंडस्ट्री में कैपेक्स साइकिल होता है। अगर सडनली बहुत लोग हेल्थ कॉन्शियस हो गए, ठीक है, और जिम्स की बहुत ज्यादा डिमांड होने लग गए, तो जो एग्जिस्टिंग जिम्स है वो अपना प्राइस एक पॉइंट तक बढ़ा देंगे। वो देख के बहुत सारे नए प्लेयर्स आएंगे कि हाँ जिम में इन्वेस्ट करना फायदेमंद है, तो और लोग इस जिम और जिम्स खोलेंगे, उस पर खर्चा करेंगे। फिर बाद में उस एरिया में बहुत सारे जिम्स आएंगे और प्राइस थोड़े वापस गिर जाएंगे।
अंशुमन अपनी इमेजिनरी दुनिया में ऑलरेडी इन्वेस्ट कर चुका है ये ज़ैफ और गोल्ड जिम में ऑलरेडी। क्या
जस्ट वेटिंग फॉर एनफ ब्रेकअप्स टू हैपन।
मेटावर्स में खोलेंगे जिम।
आगे बढ़ते, चलो नेक्स्ट।
इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल्स। तो
जिम खोलने की प्रधानमंत्री 56 इंच योजना है, वो सब लोग जिम जाके 56 इंच बना के आओ। इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल्स इंडस्ट्री क्या है लेटेस्ट?
तो सबसे पहले तो इंडिया की एक स्कीम है, फेम स्कीम, फास्टर एडॉप्शन ऑफ मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल्स। उसमें इंडिया ने बोला 10,000 करोड़ का हम इंसेंटिव्स और सब्सिडीज देंगे ताकि ज्यादा से ज्यादा लोग खरीदे, बैटरी पावर स्टेशंस निकाले और इसमें इन्वेस्ट करें, ताकि 2027 से 30 तक इंडिया का गैसोलीन कार्स में डिपेंडेंस कम हो जाए, मतलब नॉर्मल कार्स में डिपेंडेंस कम हो जाए। So it is a very big part of India and
So
every.
when will I buy a car? Okay, it's 2022. I'll graduate in 5 years. That will be 2027. 2 साल काम करूँगा, 2030 में my car is going to be electric. Damn.
Other country going forward, बिकॉज
मेरा
कार्बन
बस
एमिशन इंडिया का
सवाल बहुत
ज्यादा
सिंपल है मेरा। क्या है इसका मतलब ये है कि टेस्ला इंडिया आएगा कि नहीं?
अगर वो इंपोर्ट सब्सिडी देंगे, अगर वो इंपोर्ट्स प्राइसेस कम करेंगे तब बनता है, क्योंकि यूएस में टेस्ला एक काइंड ऑफ एन अफोर्डेबल कार रेंज में आती है, वो इंडिया में आते आते उसका भाव बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ जाएगा। एंड इन दिस प्रोसेस, और गवर्नमेंट बहुत ज्यादा मेक इन इंडिया में भी फोकस कर रही है, तो गवर्नमेंट बाहर के टेस्ला से अच्छा इंडिया का टेस्ला जो टाटा मोटर्स है उसको प्रमोट करेगा, क्योंकि टाटा बहुत ज्यादा पैसा लगा रहा है।
टाटा का ईवी गाड़ी कौन सा है फैंसी?
टियागो है 12 लाख की, टाटा नेक्सॉन है 16 लाख की, एंड इन दोनों को मिला के 70% मार्केट शेयर है ईवी का।
नेक्सॉन इज ईवी और व्हाट?
दोनों टाइप, दोनों कार्स में दोनों आते हैं।
अच्छा, ओ कूल। कोई टाटा का ब्रांड मैनेजर देख रहा है तो बता ना, मैं ब्लॉग में प्रमोट करता हूँ। टियागो, नेक्सॉन, नाइस।
बाकी 30% इज बिटवीन ऑल द प्लेयर्स।
ऑल दी अदर प्लेयर्स, एक्चुअली इंडिया का सबसे बड़ा प्लेयर जो है मारुति सुजुकी, वो तो अभी तक घुसा ही नहीं है, क्योंकि वो बोल रहा है कि टाटा टियागो एक्चुअल में ना 4-5 लाख की कार है, इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग, या 6 लाख की, वो ईवी में पहुंचते पहुंचते 12 लाख हो जाती है। सो ऑफ कोर्स इट्स नॉट द अफोर्डेबल प्राइस रेंज। तो मारुति
एवरी इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल ना, सबका वही सीन है।
या खर्चा इतना है। एमजी की जो एक गाड़ी है जियोन या जियस, वो भी 14-15 के, इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग।
तो इंडिया में ना गाड़ियों से ज्यादा आई थिंक टू व्हीलर और इंडस्ट्रियल यूज के लिए जो है वो बहुत बड़ा सेक्टर होने जाना है, राइट? बिकॉज वो सारा स्कूटर नॉर्मली शॉर्ट डिस्टेंस के लिए यूज होता है, राइट? तो आई थिंक इंडिया में जो ईवी का जो बूम होगा, अनलाइक द यूएस, इट विल बी अ टू व्हीलर बूम।
टू व्हीलर। ओला का कितना पड़ता है वो? आई थिंक 1 point something है ना ओला का?
90 to 1.1 आई थिंक। और एथर भी एक है जो हीरो इलेक्ट्रिक बैग्ड है, एथर एनर्जी।
That was so good. I've seen so many.
So is it a good time to invest in EV companies and batteries and all this?
Arey, in fact, actually, interesting you asked that. Somebody from so there is a bunch. Somebody's made a list of bunch of small cases that will benefit from this year's budget. Okay.
First one is honestly by Tanmay Bhatt.
मैं नहीं तो स्मॉल केस का, बट 2022 बजट से जो स्मॉल केसेस, मैंने कमेंट में एक लिंक डाल दिया, देख लो तुम लोग। जो स्मॉल केसेस विल बेनिफिट फ्रॉम द बजट ऑफ 2022 वो मैंने डाल दिया कमेंट्स में, तुम लोग देख लो। एंड आफ्टर दिस वीडियो आल्सो आई विल पिन इट इन द कमेंट सेक्शन।
अच्छा, एक मेरे को पहले व्हाट्सएप कर दो ना तन्मय भाई, बिफोर एवरीवन।
मैं भेज देता हूँ, देखो अभी
इधर ही चैट में डाल।
अभी क्या
3:30 बज गए,
3:30 बज गए, समय मार्केट बंद है।
अरे यार क्या
समय तेरे को क्रिप्टो की आदत है कि रात के 4 बजे तू बैठ के खरीद सकता है। हाँ, चलो आगे बढ़ते।
पर हाँ, 2 व्हीलर्स और 3 व्हीलर्स में इंडिया का अडॉप्शन एक्चुअली बहुत ज्यादा फास्ट हो रहा है, 4 व्हीलर्स में बहुत कम है, क्योंकि
ब्रो मेरा स्लो ब्रेन अभी आया। He was asking to get before everyone because if he get and after that everyone buys, he'll be in advantage. Small brain.
पहले तो रीसेल मार्केट बना ही नहीं है, एंट्री कॉस्ट इतना कम है, और सेकेंडली बैटरी चार्जिंग का जो नेटवर्क है वो अभी इंडिया में बहुत कम है। तो अगर गाड़ी बीच में रुक जाए फिर बाद में वो सब इनकन्वीनियंस होगा। सो एज गौरांग राइटली सेड, 2 व्हीलर्स छोटे के लिए तो अभी उसमें ज्यादा हो रहा है।
पावर बैंक, हाँ
पावर बैंक नहीं ले सकते क्या? लाइक अ बिग पावर बैंक? नो फॉर रियल भाई
आता है। एमजी आई थिंक सारी गाड़ीज में खुद का भी एक ऑप्शन होता है, खुद के घर में एक चार्जिंग स्टेशन लगा दो, बट वो कितना एक्सेसिबल है क्या है वो डिटेल्स मेरे पास
ऑल्सो जितने नए फ्लैट्स बन रहे हैं उन सब में जो बेसमेंट पार्किंग है सब में चार्जिंग स्टेशन लगा हुआ है फॉर 4 व्हीलर, जितने नए अपकमिंग फ्लैट्स।
नाइस।
तो उसका खर्चा कौन कर रहा है?
बिल्डर।
और फिर बिल्डर पर चार्ज का पैसा लेगा ओके।
नहीं वो आरडब्ल्यू को हैंडओवर कर देगा एंड देन दे विल वो फिगर आउट की इसमें जितना वो मीटर लगा हुआ है कि आपने इतना देर चार्ज किया तो ऑटोमेटिकली आपके फ्लैट में उसका बिलिंग आ जाएगा।
अंशुमन's mind
but in case of these cars, like it is a bigger investment in the beginning and then it is cheaper, right?
Yeah. Running cost कम है ना,
तो लॉन्ग रन में
बहुत ही कम है।
ये सीएनजी का नेक्स्ट वो है अपग्रेडेड सॉर्ट ऑफ।
गौरंग
देखो
नहीं, देखो 2 व्हीलर और नॉन मतलब ईवी और नॉन ईवी में मेंटेनेंस इज द बिग, जो मेंटेनेंस का खर्चा पड़ता है ना वो जेन्युइनली बहुत कम पड़ता है, बिकॉज कोई पार्ट ही नहीं है ना, मतलब योर एक्सेप्ट बैटरी चेंज करने के सिवाय एंड मोटर मूवमेंट्स वही है, आपको चेंज करने पड़ेंगे, मतलब देयर इज नो इंजन दैट यू हैव टू रीहॉल इन दैट सेंस।
Got it.
Nice. Hey Aditi, thank you so much. इस पीपीटी का लिंक डिस्क्रिप्शन में डाल देना। डन डन डन, डाल देंगे पीपीटी का लिंक डिस्क्रिप्शन में।
डन, ठीक है। तो पहले तो वही है कि ईवी इंडस्ट्री में बहुत ज्यादा पैसे डाल रहे हैं। बैटरी स्वैपिंग पॉलिसी टू अलाउ ईवी चार्जिंग स्टेशंस, वो होगा। तो बेसिकली अभी एक बाउंस बोल के कंपनी आई थी, उन लोगों ने भी एक स्वैपेबल ये बैटरीज वाला काम किया था। एंड सेकंड इज ऑफ कोर्स दे आर ऑलवेज एनकरेजिंग द प्राइवेट सेक्टर टू क्रिएट मोर एंड मोर बिजनेस, टू एंटर इनटू दिस बिजनेस। इस बार एक चीज हुई है बजट में, जैसे लास्ट ईयर ना हर एक इंडस्ट्री का एग्जैक्ट कॉस्ट बताया। जैसे हेल्थ केयर में इतना खर्च करेंगे, एजुकेशन में टोटल इतना खर्च करेंगे। इस बार वो इतनी क्लैरिटी नहीं मिली है टोटल हर इंडस्ट्री वाइज।
अच्छा, तो वी डोंट हैव लाइक अ पाई चार्ट कि किसको कितना जा रहा है।
मतलब एकदम क्लियर नहीं है। दे मेड सम फिगर्स पब्लिक बट नॉट।
प्लस दिस वाज अ शॉर्टर वन, 1.5 आवर्स में खत्म हो गया। आई थिंक हम अगर आज 1 घंटा 40 मिनट चल ले तो वी कैन आल्सो बिकम।
ज्यादा हो रहा है।
बोल
आगे बढ़, ज्यादा हो रहा है।
नहीं बोलना।
किडिंग गाइस, ठीक है। वही वापस से द गवर्नमेंट वुड प्रोवाइड एनहांस financial support for setting up of distributed renewable energy products even in border villages। मतलब इंटरनेट और नो कार्बन एमिशन, ये लॉन्ग टर्म इंडिया का प्लान है कि नेक्स्ट 20-30 साल में हर जगह ईवी होंगी, इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल्स होंगी और इंटरनेट होना ही पड़ेगा, बिकॉज दैट इज द फ्यूचर। एंड प्लस नो कंट्री कैन अफोर्ड टू हैव कार्बन एमिशंस आफ्टर 20 years। सो दिस इज द फ्यूचर। तो उसमें ही खर्चा हो रहा है। फिर बाद में ग्रीन बॉन्ड्स निकाल रहे हैं। ग्रीन बॉन्ड्स
अबाउट दैट, व्हीकल कितना कार्बन एमिशन कर रहा है बे? इट्स वेरी लेस। एंड इंडिया imports a lot of beef, and beef that contributes a lot towards carbon।
बेसिकली होता है कि बॉन्ड से पैसा उठाएंगे, ठीक है, और वो पैसा विल ओनली बी यूज्ड व्हिच विल हेल्प द एनवायरनमेंट इन द लॉन्ग रन। सो एक ESG बोल के एक चीज होती है व्हिच इज एनवायरमेंटल सोशल गवर्नेंस। सो मैं अपने हाथ
मैं बस बताओ।
हाँ, तो ESG होती है एनवायरमेंटल सोशल गवर्नेंस। तो कोई भी अगर ESG में इन्वेस्ट कर रहा है तो फिर बाद में वही चीजों में इन्वेस्ट होगी जो एनवायरमेंट या फिर सोसाइटी को आगे लॉन्ग रन में बेनिफिट करेगा। तो ये ग्रीन बॉन्ड्स ITC नहीं उठा सकता क्योंकि वो सिगरेट्स बना रहा है। बट एक अगर टाटा मोटर्स है बोल रही है ये बॉन्ड्स उठा के, इतना पैसा उठा के ये बॉन्ड्स इशू करके हम अपना EV का इंडस्ट्री को और ज्यादा एनहांस करेंगे, तो वो चीज हो सकती है। तो गवर्नमेंट बोल रही है ग्रीन बॉन्ड्स वी आर लॉन्चिंग।
By the way, you can also enhance your day by paying your bills on cred today. Or if you do that, then you stand a chance to have तुम्हारे साल भर का टैक्स क्रेड पे कर सकता है, ठीक है? You stand a chance to do that. तो आज बिल पे करो और अपनी जीवन को एनहांस करो। धन्यवाद। Yeah. Link is in the pinned comment, by the way. You guys can check it out.
नेक्स्ट इज 19,500 करोड़ का PLI, वही प्रोडक्शन लिंक्ड इंसेंटिव है इस फील्ड में भी कि सोलर एनर्जी मॉड्यूल्स बनाओ, हम लोग तुम्हें इंसेंटिवाइज
समय तो फॉलो कर रहा है ना?
थोड़ा थोड़ा कर रहा हूँ।
ओके, क्या नहीं कर रहा?
ITC वाला समझा ना?
थोड़ा थोड़ा समझा।
तो ITC सिगरेट बनाता है।
हाँ, वही
सिगरेट से ना एनवायरनमेंट का फायदा है ना सोसाइटी का फायदा है। तो उनको ग्रीन बॉन्ड से पैसे नहीं उठाने।
Unless ITC ग्रीन वाले
अगर कोई भी कंपनी कुछ एनवायरनमेंट के लिए अच्छा कर रहा है तो उनको इंसेंटिव मिल रहा है बेसिकली।
नहीं, ये ना ग्रीन बॉन्ड मतलब वो सरकार से एक डिस्काउंटेड रेट पे लोन उठा सकते हैं। सी बॉन्ड मतलब लोन ही है एक तरीका। अच्छा। ये जो लोन की फैसिलिटी है वो उन्हीं कंपनीज को मिल सकती है जो एनवायरमेंटली कुछ अच्छा कर रहे हैं, राइट? ITC वही इसलिए कह रहा है कि ITC नहीं उठा पाएगा बिकॉज ITC कैन नॉट क्लेम, कि मैं
पर
एनवायरनमेंट
आईटीसी तो लोग कम कर रहा है ना, एनवायरनमेंट के लिए तो अच्छा ही कर रहा है आईटीसी। तो उनको तो उल्टा सबसे ज्यादा मिलना चाहिए भाई, उनको तो ग्रीनेस्ट बॉन्ड मिलना चाहिए।
उनके जितना कार्बन फुटप्रिंट तो कम कर रहा है लिटरली
कोई नहीं कर रहा है।
कोई नहीं कर रहा भाई।
लॉल। ओके, नाइस जोक, बट मूविंग ऑन।
आईटीसी गैब है।
मजा आ गया।
हाँ।
एजुकेशन एंड स्किलिंग, इसमें ये चीज है कि पहले तो कोविड की वजह से बहुत सारे बच्चों की लग गई है, स्कूल वूल जा नहीं पाए, ऑनलाइन क्लासेस में भी ऐसे चिल्ला
भाई लग कुछ नहीं गई है भाई बच्चों की। आप बच्चे तो भाई क्रेजी घर पे बैठ के चीटिंग कर रहे हैं भाई, बच्चों की क्या लगी है भाई।
पर वो सीखे नहीं ना, कुछ सीख नहीं पा रहे, दोस्त नहीं
भाई
बन पा रहे।
क्या सीख गए भाई, डिस्कॉर्ड पे कॉपी कर दी जनता से मार के भाई सीख गए भाई बच्चे।
तो ये डिजिटल यूनिवर्सिटी बनाएंगे।
क्या बनाएंगे? डिजिटल यूनिवर्सिटी?
डिजिटल यूनिवर्सिटी। डिजिटल यूनिवर्सिटी
मतलब क्या?
व्हाट्सएप यूनिवर्सिटी।
मतलब सब कॉपी करो भाई।
कोरोना के बाद भी कॉपी करो वो वाला।
क्या ये वन क्लास वन टीवी चैनल टू बी इम्प्लीमेंटेड?
वन क्लास वन टीवी।
अच्छा, वन क्लास वन टीवी चैनल टू
हाँ,
बी
तो
इम्प्लीमेंटेड टू
basically ऐसा
प्रोवाइड।
मतलब हर क्लास में एक ही चैनल चलेगा हर एक क्लास के लिए, मतलब अगर 6 स्टैंडर्ड है तो एक चैनल चलेगा।
गॉट इट।
बट इसमें इतनी क्लैरिटी नहीं है, सो गौरांग आप बताओ। क्योंकि
देखिए अपना ना पुराने टाइम पे दूरदर्शन पे वैसे भी पढ़ाई के होते थे,
कृषि दर्शन
का कोई सेशन होता था जिसमें या कृषि के बारे में सिखाते हैं, तो कृषि का एक चैनल है,
बायजूस, ओजी बायजूस, वो तो वही था।
तो अब ऐसा होगा, लेट्स से आप 5th स्टैंडर्ड में हो, राइट, और 5th स्टैंडर्ड के लिए पूरा डेडिकेटेड चैनल दे दिया उन्होंने। तो सुबह इंग्लिश की क्लास चल रही है, दिन में फिर मैथ्स की चल रही है, बट 5th क्लास के लिए तो इट्स लाइक टॉपर गोज ऑन टीवी, थिंक ऑफ इट।
अच्छा टीवी पे चैनल बना रहे हैं बच्चों के लिए?
हाँ, टीवी के ऊपर, हाँ, पढ़ने के लिए।
बढ़िया, शाम को हमारे स्ट्रीम में देख रहे हैं बच्चे फिर तो।
अब
तो इसका क्या यूज केस नहीं समझ में, क्यों
तो
मतलब
देखिए, अगर मेरे को पढ़ने का चांस नहीं मिला तो मैं अपना टीवी तो सबके घर पास है या सबके एक्सेसिबल है, राइट, तो मैं एटलीस्ट मैं अपने मैं 8वीं कक्षा में हूँ तो मैं 8th क्लास वाला चैनल पे जाके जो भी वो उसकी प्रोग्रामिंग है वो मैं देख सकता हूँ और अपने आप सीख सकता हूँ।
करेक्ट। देखो, ऑल सेड एंड डन, पीपल हु वॉच अस, जो हमारा कंटेंट देखते,
बहुत वीडियोस है, बहुत कंटेंट क्रिएटर्स है, किसी को भी देख सकते हो लोग। वो टीवी के चैनल को भी कहीं को देखते हैं, वो लोग का फॉलो करना, उनको जैसा पसंद वो लोग यूट्यूब में जाकर देख सकते हो।
देयर इज अ सर्टेन लेवल ऑफ प्रिविलेज, राइट? उनको चमकता है, उनको चेस खेलना पसंद है, उनको फाइनेंस में इंटरेस्ट है, बट देयर इज अ होल अदर कंट्री, द रेस्ट ऑफ द कंट्री who aren't that privileged, who don't have access to this, who don't have this kind of privilege. तो उनको तो टीवी का तो एक्सेस होगा ही, टीवी penetration is anyways pretty large. So for them, this is an additional way that you can learn in case you can't access it in any
It's a small thing, bro. I don't think they should be. I think it's a moderate thing, not a big thing though.
Right, सबके सब अनअकैडमी बायजूस थोड़ी जा सकते हैं।
Exactly.
Right? सबका वो ट्यूशन कोचिंग क्लास तो नहीं लगता है, सबके कॉलेज उनको ऐसे फैसिलिटीज थोड़ी दे रहे होते, फिर भी पढ़ाई होनी चाहिए कि नहीं, वैसा ही है।
और इसलिए इन लोगों ने बोला है कि सप्लीमेंट्री एजुकेशन, जैसे ट्यूशन, अब सब ट्यूशन में नहीं जा सकते, सो दे आर सेइंग क्लास 1 to 12 के लिए हर स्टेट को रीजनल लैंग्वेज में हम सप्लीमेंट्री मटेरियल देंगे, जो बहुत सही चीज है।
ओवर एंड अबव स्कूल वो वाला ही है।
या एंड अभी आज के दिन इधर चलो अर्बन एरियाज बहुत सारे जगहों में 4G है, बट बहुत एरियाज होंगे जहाँ पे ऑनलाइन क्लासेस चल रही है, बट वो ऑनलाइन क्लासेस चल रहा है एज में, तो उनका जो स्कूल है, जो प्राइमरी एजुकेशन है, वो भी उनको अच्छे से नहीं मिल पा रहा है। सो इसके वजह से वो घर बैठे बैठे इंटरनेट यूज करे बिना वो इस चीज को
अब तो घर वाले बोल भी नहीं सकते, अब तो घर वाले ये भी नहीं बोल सकते क्या टीवी देख रहा है दिन भर,
नहीं बोल सकते।
क्रेजी भाई।
आई थिंक अगर पैंडेमिक एक और कुछ वेव आ गया ना, अगले साल मोदी जी पर्सनली हर एक के घर पे एक टीचर भेजेंगे सेइंग तू पढ़ाई से दूर कैसे भागेगा मैं देखता हूं अभी, ठीक है।
न्यूज़पेपर में कोर्स आ रहा है। फ्रंट पेज खोलते ही बाकी वर्ल्ड न्यूज छोड़ो, थर्मोडायनेमिक्स क्यों आज फ्रंट पेज पे यार, ये क्या चल रहा है? बढ़िया, ओके, cool. One class, one TV channel program of PM E-Vidya will be expanded from 12 to 200 TV channels. This will enable all states to provide supplementary education. बढ़िया, हर अलग-अलग अलग-अलग लैंग्वेजेस में होगा।
SST मराठी होगा, SST मराठी क्लास 4, फिर वरना ऐसा आई एम जस्ट गेसिंग, बट ऐसा टाइप के चैनल्स होंगे।
वाह, इस पे रिएक्ट करने को क्या मजा आएगा रे, मजा आएगा, देखते हैं। मेरे को भी कंटेंट मिल गया, बढ़िया। डिजिटल यूनिवर्सिटी टू बी सेटअप, इसका मतलब क्या है? डिजिटल यूनिवर्सिटी टू बी सेटअप
नहीं, क्या सी टुडे आप अगर बॉम्बे यूनिवर्सिटी में पढ़ते हैं, राइट, तो बॉम्बे यूनिवर्सिटी के कॉलेज से आपको डिग्री मिलती है, राइट। सो दे आर सेइंग हम लोग ऑनलाइन यूनिवर्सिटी बनाएंगे ताकि अगर आप वहां पे पढ़ के एग्जाम दे सको तो वहां से आपका सर्टिफिकेट मिलेगा, वो मतलब दैट इज
ताकि दो जगह से फेल हो सके इंसान, कि रियल लाइफ में तो फेल हो ही रहा हो, डिजिटली भी फेल हो सकता है।
डिजिटल नहीं हो रहा ना फेल, यही तो, डिजिटल कोई फेल ही नहीं हो रहा।
क्योंकि डिजिटल पेपर में तुम हरिओम और 20 रुपए का नोट नहीं चिपका सकते पेपर के साथ। बढ़िया, ओके, कूल, आगे बढ़ते
हैं। तो इसका भी सर्टिफिकेट मिलेगा क्या डिजिटल यूनिवर्सिटी से पास होने का?
हाँ, अरे सर्टिफिकेट फोटोशॉप सिखाएंगे ना, खुद बनाना पड़ता है सर्टिफिकेट।
अरे ये तो वो फोटो, इसमें तो उसने वो कर रखी है, एमबीए कर रखी है फोटो कॉपिंग में तो।
अरे यार, प्रिंटिंग इंजीनियरिंग।
अच्छा, ओके, फोटोकॉपी बोलते हो।
ऑलरेडी 12 चैनल्स है इसके, हाँ ऑलरेडी 12 चैनल्स है, दैट्स ट्रू।
ईज ऑफ बिजनेस एंड लिविंग, तो अभी जैसे अगर आपको कुछ भी नया खोलना हो, ठीक है, अगर जीएसटी नंबर भी अपना बनाना हो तो आपको 1000 टाइप के डॉक्यूमेंट्स चाहिए होंगे, सिग्नेचर चाहिए होगा, ये होगा। गवर्नमेंट बोल रही है 1486 यूनियन लॉ, 75,000 कंप्लायंसेस हम निकाल रहे हैं टू मेक इट इजियर टू डू बिजनेस।
ओह नाइस।
वो एग्जैक्टली कौन से है वो नहीं बताया, बट अलग अलग लॉज आएंगे जो हटाने वाले हैं, जस्ट टू मेक इट कन्वीनियंट फॉर समवन हु इज ट्राइंग टू डू बिजनेस। कोई भी हर एक अलग अलग स्टेप्स में अलग अलग चीजों को वो लोग रिमूव करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं।
हाँ, ये वो
स्टैंड अप में भी कुछ फर्क पड़ेगा?
नहीं,
अभी एग्जैक्टली स्टैंड अप के बारे में नहीं बोला है, बट आगे जाके।
Gaurang, do you know what compliances have been eliminated? Did they give any examples?
They have not described it, but देखिए compliance में इतने सारे सेक्शन होते हैं, right? So they have basically not said which ones right now, and ये ना union वाला sections है, that become very tricky, right? Because most of India still runs on unions, right? Across for the industrial part at least. तो इसको कैसे रिपील करेंगे, क्या करेंगे, आई थिंक उसका डिटेल्स अभी नहीं दिया उन्होंने, बट उन्होंने कहा है कि हमारा प्लान है कि इतने निकालेंगे।
Yeah, because it really you really need to fix like ease of business and living. I heard she also spoke about some tax relief in startups and all that stuff. Like it really is really high. Like if you want HNIs of the country to not leave the country or to not aspire to leave the country, you need to make it easier to do business and to live here.
Right? Or you need to cancel passport.
Yeah, that also. But Janta, it's a joke. Don't need to cancel anyone's passport. पर तुम जनता को अगर बोलोगे ना, कोई बोलेगा कि अरे यार कभी कोई मन करता है इंडिया में नहीं रहना, तो जनता गुस्सा हो जाता है, अरे इतना बड़ा आदमी ऐसे कैसे बोल सकता है. But actually when high net worth individuals of a country want to leave country, that's a bad sign. Money is going out, business is going out, people who generate wealth are going out. That's not good for your country, right? So instead of getting angry at such people, you should be like, okay, what can we do to improve? One of which is ease of business and living.
कैसे भाई को इंडिया में रखें?
अब पासपोर्ट कैंसिल करना इम्पॉसिबल हो जाएगा क्योंकि 2023 तक इलेक्ट्रॉनिक पासपोर्ट्स आने वाले हैं, चिप बेस्ड, तो सब फोन में आ जाएगा. इलेक्ट्रॉनिक
पासपोर्ट as an NFT
और PDF फाइल, बट
इलेक्ट्रॉनिक
पासपोर्ट आ रहे हैं 2023 में. कुछ चिप बेस्ड जा रहा है, उसके भी पूरे डिटेल्स नहीं दिए गए हैं, बट नेक्स्ट 1 ईयर में पासपोर्ट कैरी नहीं करना पड़ेगा. आधार कार्ड, टिकट और पासपोर्ट तीनों फोन में.
ओह सही.
वाओ नाइस, बढ़िया. स्पेशल बोल. एक
डाउट है.
हाँ,
ये कंप्लायंसेस और यूनियन लॉज में क्या डिफरेंस है और ये क्या है, मतलब थोड़ा नहीं पता मेरे को.
ओके गौरव.
तो कंप्लायंस क्या होता है, जिस तरह जीएसटी है, राइट, तो यू हैव टू कंप्लाई विद द जीएसटी लॉ. मतलब आपको कई फाइलिंग करनी पड़ती है, व्हिच इज प्रीएम्प्टिव, right? Which is basically requirements of the law. So you have to do the thing. Now laws could be saying particularly कि आप इतने union को, let's say union को खाना दिलाना compulsory है. Now that's a law, right? Which you can't. This thing. But compliance is like statutory compliance. इस तरह taxation और क्या कहते हैं HR related काफी compliance होती है कि अगर इतने लोग हैं आपके तो आपके register होना चाहिए हर company में, right? It's literally a law.
सबका DDS करना चाहिए.
जैसे आपका एक एग्जांपल है, मैं आपको एग्जांपल से समझ देता हूं. If you want to stream on YouTube, then you have to comply with YouTube's rule of giving a part of your super chat. That is compliance basically. Compliance वही word होता है.
समझा कि जो तुम्हें करना है कंपलसरी करना ही पड़ रहा है.
अरे हर कंपनी में कंप्लायंस डिपार्टमेंट होता है. एक पूरा डिपार्टमेंट होता है जस्ट टू फॉलो रूल्स, जस्ट टू कीप अप विद व्हाट रूल एग्जिस्ट व्हेन आई डू X, Y and Z. So there's a very compliant heavy countries में बहुत compliance ये होता है, you know.
So 75,000 of them are being eliminated.
That's probably like
इसकी डिटेल पे ही पता चलेगा because वो एक सिंगल लाइन आइटम को निकाल के उसको अगर आप एक काउंट करो और उस मतलब so it I don't think this is more of a show than this thing, but it's in the right direction and
it's in the right direction. Ease of doing business.
The idea is to attract more people to.
Idea is to make ease of business.
हाँ, पर वही तो वो तो किस लिए, पर वही तो इसीलिए ना कि ताकि
हाँ तो और उससे वो होगा ना, इकोनॉमी बढ़ेगी ना.
इकोनॉमी बढ़ेगी. अपना जनता का असेसमेंट इज ऑलवेज लाइक अरे ये करने से इकोनॉमी बढ़ती है यार.
अरे तो पैसा आएगा और ना और लोग बिजनेस करेगा ना इंडिया में भाई, बढ़ेगा भाई.
करेक्ट. नो ब्रॉड पॉइंट अग्रीड. आगे बढ़ते.
नेक्स्ट है टैक्सेशन. ठीक है,
लेट्स गो.
इस साल पर्सनल इनकम टैक्स में गाइस कोई चेंज नहीं आया. पर्सनल इनकम टैक्स में तो ये एक मिडिल क्लास का बहुत ज्यादा था कि इनकम टैक्स कम करो. ऑफ कोर्स कैसे खाएंगे, इन्फ्लेशन भी बढ़ रहा है, पेंट का भी प्राइस बढ़ रहा है, बिस्किट का भी प्राइस बढ़ रहा है, इनकम टैक्स भी कम नहीं हो रहा, तो खाए कैसे. बट बजट में इस बार फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर ने कुछ भी क्लियरेंस नहीं दिया है. पर्सनल इनकम टैक्स हैज नॉट बीन चेंज्ड, बट एज यू सेड surcharge on long term capital gains listed और अनलिस्टेड स्टॉक्स का दोनों का 15% में.
इसका मतलब क्या है?
कैप कर दिया है. ठीक है,
लॉन्ग टर्म 6 महीना या
नहीं, लॉन्ग टर्म इक्विटी का होता है 1 साल के ऊपर,
1 साल के ऊपर,
और स्टॉक्स अनलिस्टेड स्टॉक्स का मुझे पता नहीं है. ठीक है, बट इसका मतलब होता है जो हाई नेट जो 1 करोड़ या 2 करोड़ के ऊपर कमाते हैं तो उनका टैक्सेशन 30% नहीं होता, उनको ऑलमोस्ट सरचार्ज लग के 40-42% भी हो सकता है.
बहुत कम है.
अब गवर्नमेंट बोल रही है अगर आपका जो जितना भी इक्विटी हो या फिर अनलिस्टेड स्टॉक्स हो, दोनों में आपके जो स्टॉक्स होंगे उसमें एलटीसीजी के ऊपर आप कोई भी ब्रैकेट में हो, इनकम ब्रैकेट में हो, आपके 15% से ऊपर एक्स्ट्रा टैक्स नहीं लगेगा. सो सरचार्ज इज बेसिकली एडिशनल टैक्स.
दैट्स गुड.
तो नॉर्मल एलटीसीजी ऑन स्टॉक्स इज 10% आफ्टर 1 ईयर, उसके ऊपर भी सरचार्ज लगता है अकॉर्डिंग टू योर इनकम लेवल. वो बोल रहे हैं 15% से ऊपर नहीं लगेगा.
नॉर्मली कितना होता है शॉर्ट टर्म वाले में?
सरचार्ज इज, थिंक ऑफ सरचार्ज इज टैक्स ऑन टैक्स. सर टैक्स के ऊपर टैक्स. हो हम लोग नॉर्मली हम इंडिविजुअल भी एजुकेशन सेस देते हैं, एक एजुकेशन सरचार्ज है, वो एक तरीके टैक्स के ऊपर एक एडिशनल लेयर लाने का तरीका है. सो दे आर सेइंग वी आर कैपिंग इट. इट्स अ गुड थिंग ओनली कि मतलब अनलिमिटेड टैक्स आपको नहीं भरना पड़ेगा, बिकॉज़ दैट्स अनदर वे फॉर गवर्नमेंट टू टैक्स ऑन टॉप ऑफ टैक्स. So it's a good thing.
So unlisted stocks would be private equity also, right?
Yes.
हाँ, मतलब जो BSE या NSE में listed नहीं है, that is all unlisted.
Got it. So private owning shares in private companies.
हाँ.
Got it.
Startup investment.
Startup investment वगैरह इसलिए पूछ रहा
हूँ. So this will actually facilitate more people, you know, considering कि हाँ ये sell तो करे ऐसा, वरना पहले बहुत ज़्यादा surcharge था unlisted में.
Got it. Tax deduction limit increased to 14% on employers' contribution to NPS account of state government employees. ये कोई इंग्लिश में समझा सकता है ये क्या था?
ये देखिए, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट के अगर एम्प्लॉई हैं आप तो वो आपको अलग अलग डिडक्शन ज्यादा मिलते हैं. देयर आर मोर नाउ. और द गवर्नमेंट इज सेइंग कि आपकी जो एनपीएस मतलब ये नेशनल पेंशन स्कीम की जो कंट्रीब्यूशन है, राइट, उसका उसके अगेंस्ट एक लिमिट बना दिया कि उससे ज्यादा आपको टैक्स डिडक्शन का चांस नहीं मिलेगा. मतलब और बढ़ा दिया कि मतलब यू कैन नाउ गेट मोर डिडक्शंस बेस्ड ऑन कि आपकी एनपीएस की कंट्रीब्यूशन क्या है. सो लेट्स से आपका 1 लाख का एनपीएस का कंट्रीब्यूशन था, राइट, सो टैक्स लिमिट इंक्रीज टू 14% ऑफ एम्प्लॉइज कंट्रीब्यूशन. सो वो एक
एम्प्लॉयर्स
डिडक्शन, मतलब वो एक डिडक्शन इज द रिटर्न ऑन टैक्स. जो आपको वापस मिलता है, you can claim back.
Got it. तो अगर आपने एनपीएस में ज्यादा कंट्रीब्यूट किया तो आपका
आपको ज्यादा मिल
टैक्स
रहा है,
आपको ज्यादा टैक्स डिडक्शन कर सकते हो आप बेसिकली.
बट ये स्टेट एम्प्लॉइज के लिए, मतलब इट्स नॉट फॉर अस.
Not for us. Got it. Okay. Tanmay or anybody else, could you analyze previous year budget or 27-20? How much percentage actually implemented even after 4-5 years? Want to check just a bubble or not? Okay, Abhay, interesting idea. We'll take it up. Is this surcharge applicable on property? Ooh, no, it doesn't specify property, no.
Listed as well as unlisted stocks.
Unlisted stocks पे.
These stocks are basically company ownership, right? Does not speak about capital gains
on all assets.
On assets.
Unless
And
the
property.
stocks is of magic bricks, in which case it's a middle ground. Okay,
Yeah.
आगे बढ़ते.
By the way, if you want to analyze the last year's budget और कितना रिजल्ट है, तो हर साल 1st Feb के एक दिन पहले, मतलब 31st Jan को फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर एक इकोनॉमिक सर्वे प्रेजेंट करती है, which is a report card. So you should look at that.
सर्वे से
स्टेट ऑफ द
करेंगे.
इकोनॉमी बोल के पीडीएफ फाइल होगा,
Bro, I want
40 पढ़ लेना.
facts.
ऐसे बोला जैसे मतलब
प्रोफेसर कोर्स नहीं देना.
हम वीडियो तो बनाएंगे ही, बट उस अगर रुका नहीं जा रहा तो वो फाइल पढ़ लेना ऐसा.
पैसिव अग्रेसिव बोला उसने एकदम.
नहीं ऐसा नहीं है भाई.
ये नई बात करने का मेरे को इसके बारे में दर्द होएगा मेरे को ये स्लाइड देख के.
अरे भाई आगे
फाइनली
भाई कुछ रिलेटेबल बात हुई भाई. अब बताओ भाई क्या करना है अभी. पेंशन क्या करें अभी हम. क्रिप्टो टू बी टैक्स 30% फॉर ट्रांसफर्स.
हाँ ये
30.
यही कंफ्यूजन है मुझे इसका नहीं समझ
इसमें
में आया.
ऐसा अब उसमें वर्ड प्लेज 30% taxed on income from virtual currency assets, transfer of virtual currency assets.
Income.
I think what they mean by
transfer.
transfer Samay is if someone else sends you crypto. Okay, if it's transferred to you, that will be deemed as income.
Okay.
Pain or
That will be
away.
taxed.
30%.
That's not good.
Yeah, apparently.
But like after you like get it into your bank, right? Like if it's in CoinDCX में अगर पड़ा हुआ है, जैसे या फिर क्रेड में अगर जिसमें भी पड़ा हुआ है, तो once you convert to your bank account, then it will be taxed, or as you get it only.
ये अंशुमन
like, what
बताएगा.
is it?
अंशुमन क्या realized gains पे क्या बताया ना वो लोग ने?
उन लोगों ने नहीं बोला है कि रियलाइज्ड है कि नहीं, बट द प्लॉजिबल एक्सप्लेनेशन इज कि अगर तुम प्रॉफिट से लेट्स से तुम्हारा 100 रुपए का पोर्टफोलियो अब 130 रुपए हो गया, अगर तुमने वो 130 रुपए का बेचा तो तुम्हें 30 रुपए का प्रॉफिट होगा. उस 30 रुपए में
That doesn't affect many people actually. They just invested in it. So yeah, I think who will be in loss are those scamsters. Send crypto to this account, they will be taxed. That's good.
30% लगना चाहिए.
पर वो 30 रुपए तो हमने अगर
Why would
convert नहीं
anyone
किया, मान लो
transfer?
मैंने 100 रुपए लगाया किसी में, वो 130 हो गया, फिर मैंने वो डॉजकॉइन में लगाया, वो 4 रुपए हो गया, राइट? तो मेरा वहां पे तो हुआ गेन, पर नेट तो मेरा लॉस ही हुआ ना.
नहीं,
तो
वो
stock-
गेन पे लगेगा.
उस गेन पे लगेगा.
अब स्टॉक्स में ऐसा नहीं होता. देखो अब स्टॉक्स में मतलब ऐसा होता है, जब तक तुम्हारे अकाउंट में, जब तक वो रुपीज में कन्वर्ट नहीं होता, तब तक उसमें टैक्स नहीं लगता, पोर्टफोलियो में जितना भी गेन हो रहा हो. ठीक है. अब इसमें एक्चुअल में इतनी क्लैरिटी नहीं है. शी हैज सेड दिस, बट आई फील कि वही होगा कि गेन्स पे 30%
Gains पे होगा.
लगेंगे.
By the way,
Gains पे
transfer.
30%
By the way,
लगेंगे.
transfer does not mean one to one. It means sale or sale on an exchange. That's what it means.
That's crazy, bro. So if you just invest also 30% tax for returns, for profits. That's crazy.
Means by transfer, not one to one. It's my mistake. What I
Because look, yeah, there are people who like invest for day to day or just for months. I'll probably invest it for years, dude. And 30% on profits over like 20 years or something. It's crazy.
just said.
Not between you and me. if
Not
you transfer
between,
to each
yeah,
other.
not between me and
Okay.
me and you.
P2P क्या बोलते हैं उसको उसमें?
हाँ, P2P. Again,
then
P2P
if
का
not
अलग
between-
अलग P2P का अलग झमेला है यार. वो और भी उसके अंदर कॉम्प्लिकेशन
वही.
आती
और
है.
अगर आप अपने एक क्रिप्टो अकाउंट से अपने ही दूसरे में करते हो, तो
हाँ.
दे वोंट इवन लाइक वो हाउ विल दे फिगर आउट कि ये इसी का दूसरा अकाउंट.
वही. So I think exchanges will
crazy.
become exchanges.
Regulated.
Yeah, exchanges will get regulated,
And any activity that you do on the exchange वो CSV फाइल मिलता है, उसके अंदर ट्रैक्ड होता है.
P&L फाइल, हाँ.
हाँ, तो उसके अंदर ट्रैक्ड होता है. So it will be able to tell you, say, hey, this is the amount of tax that you are owed. In fact, there are many apps also that already do this. That Coin Tracker करके एक है, which tracks all your movement between all your different wallets, etc., etc. If you want to be completely compliant, compliance. If you want to be completely compliant and pay all your taxes, etc., etc., there are many apps also that help you do this. And I think exchanges will now build for this within the exchange. This is my guesstimate that they will have to, because otherwise it's just very complicated, right? How are you going to keep track?
Okay, I'm still not understanding that point. Ki if you have, like in this example, you invest in something, you invest in a Bitcoin, it go from 100 to 130, it gets. Next day you invest in something else, that 130 becomes 100 again. So are you still eligible to pay the tax for that 30 that you gained there?
उसमें अगर आपने उसको USGC स्टेबल कॉइन में कन्वर्ट किया, फिर अगर डोज कॉइन में कर दिया, तो आपके अकाउंट में नहीं आया, वो क्रिप्टो इकोसिस्टम में ही है, तो शायद उसमें गेन नहीं लगेगा. बट अगर आपने
again don't know yet.
There is nothing clear.
I doubt अंशुमन जो अंशुमन बोल रहा है, I doubt that, because ऐसे तो आपने एक बार इन्वेस्ट करके आप उसको अंदर ही घुमाते रहो.
करेक्ट.
पर कभी ना कभी तो
फिर इन दैट केस
यार तो बनाओगे ना.
In that case, then the stable coin जो USDC हो गया, USDT हो गया, फिर वो भी तो वर्चुअल एसेट ही है.
करेक्ट. वो भी तो वर्चुअल एसेट है.
In that case, what they will do, stable coin जो USDC हो गया, USDT हो गया, फिर वो भी तो वर्चुअल एसेट ही है.
करेक्ट. वो भी तो वर्चुअल एसेट है.
So in that case, what they will do is कि CoinD6 में तुम्हें हमारा जो अभी डिजिटल करेंसी जो अभी अनाउंस किया है, वो डिजिटल करेंसी यूज करना पड़ेगा. तो इसीलिए guys, there is actually no clarity right now.
Yeah.
अच्छा, तो ये अब NFTs और ये सब का क्या सीन फिर?
उस पे भी वर्चुअल एसेट.
No clarity.
ठीक. मेटावर्स NFT सब उसमें आ गया.
General.
There is no clarity.
Yeah. So there was some chatter on Twitter about offsetting losses. And this is what we were discussing, right? Like what happens if you convert it and you in one crypto you make some gains, but you lose in overall as a crypto asset, you've net not made any profit. Then what? So it's still not very, very clear, and I don't think it's going to be very clear for some time, because it's an ever evolving technology, right? Like I think वो चलते रहेगा यार, बहुत काफी टाइम तक ये फिगर आउट होने में टाइम लगेगा.
स्टॉक्स में क्या होता है, अगर आपके 2-3 स्टॉक्स में लॉस है और आपके लेट्स से 10 स्टॉक में गेन है, तो आप एक्चुअली उन गेन्स, लेट्स से 1 लाख गेन्स है, वो 1 लाख लॉन्ग टर्म गेन्स में आपको 10% देना पड़ेगा. बट अगर आपके पिछले 8 साल में कोई भी लॉस हुआ है, तो लॉस को आप ऑफसेट कर सकते हो. तो लेट्स से 30,000 का लॉस हुआ, तो आप 1 लाख में से उसे माइनस कर दो और 70,000 पे आप 10% दोगे. बट क्रिप्टो में ऐसा उन्होंने बोला है वो नहीं अलाउड है. यू कैन नॉट
ऑफसेटिंग नहीं है.
टैक्सेस सीखना है मेरे को.
ना रेगुलेटेड नहीं है ना वो, उतना कैसे उसको फिगर आउट करेंगे कितना.
एनीवे मेरा तो सब कुछ लॉस मेकिंग ही है.
लाल ही है भाई, मेरा तो पूरा लाल पड़ा हुआ है पोर्टफोलियो ब्रो. अब उस पे और 30% भी दूंगा तो फिर तो भाई मैं तो आ रहा हूं अभी ब्रांड वर्क करने क्रेजी नेक्स्ट ईयर.
व्हाट इज 30% ऑफ 0 ऑफ -0? आगे बढ़ते.
नेक्स्ट ऐसा है कि अगर मैंने आपको गिफ्ट किया बिटकॉइन, एक बिटकॉइन, ठीक है, और आपने वो बिटकॉइन और वो उस बिटकॉइन में अगर आपने कुछ गेन बनाया, फिर कुछ भी आपको फायदा हुआ, उसमें भी आपको टैक्स देना पड़ेगा. Yes.
किसको देना पड़ेगा? इनके तन्मय भाई को या अंशुमन को?
No, the one who got gifted.
Got the recipient.
Yeah, the recipient.
They have to pay tax for that.
Yeah. हाँ, ये मैंने शुरुआत में बोला था. किसी ने बोला है ट्रांसफर कैन बी सेल और गिफ्टिंग ऑफ वर्चुअल डिजिटल एसेट विदाउट एनी डिडक्शन अदर देन द एक्चुअल परचेज कॉस्ट. सो बेसिकली कैपिटल गेन्स पे टैक्स है. आर्यन ने कहा है. ओके, गॉट इट. Got it.
तो वही है. और next thing is 1% TDS also has to be levied upon transfers. अब transfers इस केस में capital gain, तो उस capital gain पे भी 1% TDS लगेगा.
No, transfer is not capital gain. It's just the entire amount.
अब जनरली उनके जो वर्ड्स थे, उन वर्ड्स में उन्होंने बोला था ट्रांसफर ऑफ एनी डिजिटल एसेट्स पे 30% टैक्सेस है.
अभी कैसे IMPS पे 5 रुपए लगता है, 4 रुपए लगता है, वैसा ट्रांसफर फी है मेरे ख्याल से
1%.
अपार्ट फ्रॉम जो आपका
every time you transfer you have to pay 1% tax every single time.
हाँ
तो फिर 30% उस पे भी लगेगा, क्योंकि उन लोगों ने ट्रांसफर्स वर्ड पे 30% बोला है, 30% ऑन ट्रांसफर्स ऑफ वर्चुअल एसेट्स। तो अगर ऐसे हुआ तो 1 लाख 30% भी अगर आपने 1 लाख का कुछ खरीदा उसमें 30% लगेगा। तो वही है ना, वर्ड्स में अभी बहुत कंफ्यूजन है। बट गौरांग आपको क्या लगता है, ये बताओ।
नहीं देखो, दे हैव आल्सो 1% एक बहुत ज्यादा अमाउंट होता है, बट द फैक्ट दैट स्टॉक में भी आज आप खरीदते हो कुछ, यू आर एक्चुअली पेइंग अ टैक्स, बट वो इतना छोटा अमाउंट आता है ना, जो तभी वो 20 रुपए के अंदर वो जो ब्रोकरेज के अंदर सब ऐड कर देते हैं। देयर इज अ स्मॉल टैक्स 0.00035, सो देयर इज अ स्टेट, देयर आर 2-3 टैक्सेशन दैट यू हैव टू पे। Now, because the volume is so high, that's why the tax can be low and it does not affect us. अभी इन्होंने क्या किया? They want to first of all, why are they doing this? एक तो they are legitimizing, they want to earn tax out of it. Second, they want to actually de-incentivize people to do it.
Yeah.
Right? At least those people who want to be compliant will now say, अरे इतना tax है plus. So it's a way for them to reduce people getting into this space. Now, will this, I think it will, in a way it will reduce the people in the space, because now अब पता है कि भैया हर टाइम 1% देना है, और अगर मेरे को कोई ट्रांसफर करेगा तो 30% मेरे को भी लगेगा, राइट, बिकॉज इट्स ट्रीटेड लाइक इनकम। थिंक ऑफ इट, मतलब अगर मैं आपके बैंक अकाउंट में आज पैसा दे दूं, राइट, लेट्स से 1 लाख रुपए मैं अंशुमन को देता हूं, तो अंशुमन विल हैव टू ट्रीट दिस एज एन इनकम, राइट, इन हिज, और ही हैज टू देन गिव इट बैक टू मी, एंड देन देयर हैज टू बी लाइक अ लोन on that, right, versus, so यहाँ पे मतलब it will take a while, but in a sense government ने इंश्योर किया है कि जितना ट्रांजैक्शन होता था खुल्लम खुल्ला वो सब गिर के काफी कम होगा।
And what about wallets?
मतलब there is no way to track wallets, right, but because most wallets are non-Indian, it's only the Indian crypto exchanges that can be controlled. तो अब आपके वॉलेट में आपके पड़े, अब आपकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी कि आपको डिस्क्लोज करना है।
एक चीज है,
समय की शक्ल देखो।
इतने अच्छे मूड से आया था यार इस मीटिंग में भाई।
समय अभी एक हाथ से धीरे-धीरे वॉलेट में डाल रहा है, धीरे बात करते-करते
मैं जितना बात कर रहा हूं मेरा नेटवर्क कम होता जा रहा है उतना, पता है आप लोग।
पर इसमें एक और चीज है एक्चुअली,
एक और चीज है।
जैसे गौरांग ने बोला कि अंशुमन ने, अगर गौरांग ने मुझे 1 लाख रुपए भेजा तो वो 1 लाख मेरे इनकम में लग जाएगा, ठीक है। बट अब हम एसेट्स की तरफ देखते हैं, अगर मैंने फिक्स डिपॉजिट मेरा 1 लाख का है, ठीक है, तो फिक्स, और उसमें मैंने 7% इंटरेस्ट कमाया, जो तो 7,000 रुपए ना वो मेरे इनकम में लगता है, मेरा पूरा फिक्स डिपॉजिट अमाउंट नहीं लगता।
प्रिंसिपल नहीं लगता,
प्रिंसिपल नहीं लगता है। इनकम फ्रॉम अदर सोर्सेज इज द गेन्स, and here constantly she has used virtual assets. So transfers अगर income में भी add होगा, the gains, the income from that investment should be added. That's what my understanding is again. So मेरे हिसाब से gains पे ही लगेगा taxes.
तन्मय भाई वो वीडियो का नाम चेंज कर दो, how to make money on Solana को how to lose money on Solana कर दो अभी।
फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल हाउ टू मेक मनी मैंने बोला ही नहीं था, मैंने हाउ टू मेक मनी, बाय दिस क्रिप्टो, मेक मनी ऑन दिस क्रिप्टो, मैं सब कभी बोलता ही नहीं हूँ, ठीक है। तो कोई रास्ते पे आके मेरे को बोला ना, ए तूने वो खरीदने को बोला था, बंदूक निकालूंगा मैं, ठीक है, चुप करो तुम, सीधा बंदूक निकालूंगा अगली बार। 1% is the withholding tax rate and not the actual tax outflow. The actual tax outflow will be limited to 30% plus applicable surcharge and cess. Got it. Surbit, thank you. Thank you for that clarification.
So basically overall बताएं, summarize करें तो we still don't have clarity on this.
Yeah, I think वो
थोड़ा I think पता है समय FD क्या होता है पता है?
FD तो भाई क्या बात कर दी भाई, मेरे भी पापा आप ही की उम्र के हैं यार, बताते हैं।
I also think that to some degree, like the level of ambiguity is also kept open-ended deliberately.
Oh,
right.
It's like Stairway to Heaven.
Game.
It's like you want to keep things a little open-ended, a little vague. So if anybody does too much, we had told you, it's like that, right? So I think like the road to regulation is always paved with some sacrifices and some hard punishments and some lessons that are publicly taught.
मैं तो सब कुछ तन्मय भाई आप ही के अकाउंट में ट्रांसफर कर रहा हूँ अभी, देखो भरो आप मेरा टैक्स अभी।
हाँ ठीक है, तेरा 30% है ना, ठीक है, भेज दूंगा मैं, तेरा नेटवर्थ -30%।
थैंक यू, आई टेक इट. बढ़िया, गॉट इट. ओके, आगे बढ़ते.
Next है, RBI is also planning to introduce their own digital currency, so which will be powered by blockchain tech. So simple है, it's a digital rupee, just like the normal rupee, or it is on the basis the value of that rupee, digital rupee is the same as the normal rupee. मतलब government ने बोला है, government पे trust करके उस rupee का भी value है.
अभी इमेजिन कर, फार्मर्स को ऐसा एयर ड्रॉप वगैरह मिलेगा, ऐसा सब कूल चीज होएगा. अभी सबका डिजिटल
फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन के लिए है ये चीज.
yes. सबका एक डिजिटल वॉलेट बनेगा. अगर तूने एक्स गवर्नमेंट स्कीम यूज किया, राइट, सो दे विल हैव अ रिकॉर्ड बिकॉज़ इट विल ऑल बी ऑन अ लेजर, राइट, ऑन द ब्लॉकचेन. फिर यू विल बी एलिजिबल फॉर एयर ड्रॉप्स वगैरह वगैरह वगैरह. प्रधानमंत्री एयर ड्रॉप योजना.
वाओ ब्रो,
बढ़िया, कूल. वैसा. आगे बढ़ते. थका दिया पता है ये स्लाइड ने मुझे.
दर्दनाक स्लाइड थी भाई वो.
आगे बढ़ते.
Other highlights of the budget.
Customs duty concessions to be given to certain consumer electronic devices to promote manufacturing across wearables, hearables and specific mobile phone components. इसका मतलब क्या है?
वही सेम एग्जैक्टली जो आपने बोला, कंसेशन मिलेगा ताकि ज्यादा से ज्यादा लोग इसको मैन्युफैक्चर करें.
अच्छा, तो बोट
इसमें घड़ियों में
वेरेबल्स, नहीं
घड़ियां,
हेडफोन, मोबाइल फोन.
उससे अच्छा क्रिप्टो में दे दो ना भाई. नहीं पहनूंगा रे घड़ी. घड़ी क्या करूंगा पहन के भाई.
टास्क फोर्स फॉर डेवलपमेंट ऑफ एनिमेशन, विजुअल इफेक्ट्स, गेमिंग, कॉमिक सेक्टर टू बी सेट अप. अच्छा,
क्या
जाग गया समय.
Basically, gaming sector is the future. Gaming sector is the future. तो वो लोग बोल रहे हैं हाँ, हम भी इसके तरफ ध्यान दे रहे हैं. We are not ignoring it. It is the future and we are acknowledging it. ऐसा.
ये PUBG वाला है क्या?
हाँ, to mention gaming in budget is a
huge thing.
बढ़िया भाई.
So guys,
Scout और Mortal आज इंडिया फ्लैग लेके स्ट्रीम करने वाले रात को.
गेम ऑफ फ्लिप माइनक्राफ्ट कर रहा है, इंडियन रुपी निकाल रहा है वहां से.
क्या बोल रहा है अचमन?
Also, Mukesh Ambani spoke about DeFi recently, and he has also said that gaming is the biggest bet for India in the next decade. So, yeah, everyone is excited about gaming.
बढ़िया.
Let's go.
Exciting.
मजा आया.
E-passports embedded with chips will be rolled out in 2022-2023 for convenience in overseas travel. ये हमने डिस्कस कर दिया है. आगे बढ़ते हैं.
Done.
हो गया.
Yes.
ये था बढ़िया.
ये ई पासपोर्ट किसी और कंट्री में है अभी?
मैं तो गया नहीं कहीं और, मुझे नहीं पता.
मैं भी नहीं.
गौरंग?
नहीं, मेरे को भी नहीं पता, बट आई एम श्योर होना चाहिए बिकॉज़ ई पासपोर्ट बेसिकली इट्स लाइक अ
But I've never seen immigration में आप जहाँ भी देखते हो, even like foreigners को सबका पासपोर्ट हाथ में देखा हमेशा से. I've never seen anybody using a.
But ये जैसे ही बोल रहे हैं ना कि चिप enabled, तो मुझे नहीं लगता कि आई थिंक वो कुछ ऐसा कार्ड टाइप होगा ना, ऐसे टैगिंग कार्ड टाइप होगा.
अंदर एक चिप enabled होगी so that reading of information, right? आजकल वो क्या करता है, स्कैन करता है ना पेपर.
हाँ.
Right? That's how you enter into some of these other countries where they have the scanner. Like Singapore, you typically just scan and get in and get out. Now India may also you'll be able to just tap or insert the chip somewhere to enter exit.
But e-passport तो clearly means ना.
नहीं, वो e-passport I think नाम के हिसाब से it won't be like a like PDF document मेरे हिसाब से नहीं होगा. It will be a physical thing with a chip in it. So that entry exit अभी क्या होता है, खड़ा होना पड़ता है, बात करना पड़ता है. All of that.
बाकी सब जगह तो वो कियोस्क जैसा लगा है कि you can enter जैसे.
You basically
domestic में कैसे अपना boarding pass लगा के निकल जाते हैं वैसा.
वही होगा शायद.
Then you scan your retina and then you move out, right? तो उससे basically crowding कम होगी at entry exits.
Okay. तो full electronic नहीं लग रहा.
I don't think so. नहीं होगा ना because
क्योंकि किसी कंट्री में नहीं है. हम लोग ये.
But you have to take your passport to the other country, right? So that government might not accept it.
हाँ, exactly वही बोल रहा ना कि उसको कैसे रेगुलेट करोगे कि.
नहीं होगा.
मेरा पोर्टफोलियो 10% नेगेटिव में है, तो उसमें सरकार देगी क्या नेगेटिव टैक्स मुझे? देख, -30% ऑफ -10%, तो माइनस प्लस रहता है ना, तो देखो +40% बेनिफिट मिलेगा. अरुणा हजारिका, congratulations for fantastic mathematics. I freelance and all my payments are in crypto. Do I have to pay 30% on the crypto I receive or just the gains I make on the amount I receive?
राघव वो हमने डिस्कस किया, क्लियर नहीं है बट मोस्ट लाइकली ऑन द
एसेट्स बोला है, मतलब वर्चुअल एसेट्स, ये तो इनकम है। ये तो
एज ऑफ नाउ तो कैश कर रहा है ना, इसका मतलब वो कैश में कर रहा है ट्रांजैक्शन एज ऑफ नाउ, वो इनवॉइस नहीं रेज कर रहा, क्रिप्टो में पेमेंट ले रहा है, तो इज नॉट पेइंग एनी टैक्स।
Now you have to pay 30% of whatever income.
No, you have to pay taxes.
Someone came up. Have to, sure, dude.
अरे नहीं, अगर कोई अभी क्रिप्टो में पेमेंट ले रहा है अगर कोई, तो इनवॉइस थोड़ी क्रिप्टो में रेज कर रहा है,
तो वो USDC में लेता होगा, एंड एज सून एज ही ट्रांसफर्स इट इनटू हिज बैंक अकाउंट इट इज हिज इनकम। वो तो इनकम लगेगा, उसमें इनकम टैक्स हमेशा से लगता था। अगर आप बाहर की कंपनी में भी काम करते हो और उसमें आपका USD से INR कन्वर्ट होता है, दैट इज एडेड टू योर इनकम।
नहीं, बट नॉर्मली वो करता क्या होगा कि वो खुद देता होगा USDC में और वहां से कैश ले लेता होगा, सम वर्जन ऑफ दैट, राइट? वो सब आपको any money that you get from, in my view, and I could be wrong also, if Anshuman gives me, I hope he gives me 1 Bitcoin, but if he gives me 1 Bitcoin, I will have to pay 30% tax on it, because that will be treated as my income. That's my understanding of it.
Gift भी तो था।
हाँ, gift.
Anything ना, any transfer basically, कुछ भी हो।
Absolutely.
If Anshuman gives me 1 Bitcoin and I pay 30%, then if I give it back to him, will he also pay 30% on that?
Yeah, every transfer.
अरे crazy scene भाई।
Every transfer.
ऐसे ट्रांसफर करते
5 बार ट्रांसफर किया बिटकॉइन
कंगाल हो मेरा डोला नहीं आया, डोला चलेगा।
आखिरी ट्रांसफर में गैस फी ज्यादा होगा बिटकॉइन।
आई थिंक किसने सरकार को इथेरियम गैस फी के बारे में बताया नहीं ब्रो। Special relief for people still transacting on Ethereum. A quick question: why 2 different ETFs targeting similar sector with same asset percent save different price and profit? Does price matter in such case? समझा नहीं random guy, ये क्या था? Why 2 different ETFs targeting similar sector with same asset?
So what again, I can't see the question, but what I'm assuming is कि मतलब वो कह रहा है कि अगर Nifty 50 के 2 ETFs हैं, हाँ, तो उनका प्राइस अलग क्यों है? बिकॉज वो 50 ही स्टॉक में इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं और सेम प्रोपोर्शन में कर रहे हैं। ये इसलिए होता है बिकॉज थिंक ऑफ इट, देयर इज अ कंपनी, एज द मार्केट चेंजेस, राइट, बाय द एंड ऑफ द डे, नाउ डिफरेंट कंपनीज आर बाइंग द डिफरेंट स्टॉक्स एट डिफरेंट प्राइसेस, सो देयर इज अ स्मॉल एरर, बट वो एरर ज्यादा इतना सिग्निफिकेंट नहीं होता, तो इतना मतलब लेट्स नॉट ओवर इंजीनियर।
इसके लिए मार्केट मेकर का कांसेप्ट समझना चाहिए, व्हिच वी हैव एक्सप्लेन्ड इन अ प्रीवियस वीडियो, व्हाट आर ETFs।
What are ETFs? Check it out. Chandigarh has had chip-based DL since 2000, but the government never bought machines that could read them. ये पासपोर्ट के साथ भी यही होने वाला है। अब मेरा डोला नहीं आया। Carrying chip passport for 22 years. Nobody can read them. रब्बी खेल है खेल। चलो दोस्तों, काफी इंटरेस्टिंग, नथिंग ओवर ड्रामेटिक, काफी सिंपल स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड बजट।
एक शाम को या रात को एक समय के लिए चीयर अप स्ट्रीम भी करो।
करेंगे मैं डिवार बोलने वाला था, पर असली स्कैरी तो अभी हो गया ऑलरेडी। तो उसी बात पे थैंक यू वेरी मच एवरीवन फॉर जॉइनिंग अस। नॉट अ ड्रामेटिक बजट, राइट, बट यू कैन मेक ड्रामेटिक चेंज टू योर लाइफ इफ यू पे योर बिल ऑन क्रेडिट टुडे, योर क्रेडिट कार्ड बिल्स। You stand to win a chance to have your whole year's income tax payment done by cred. क्या बात है, मतलब साल का अगर तुमने करोड़ रुपया टैक्स दिया है, हाँ, तो cred you could stand a chance to have cred pay that, which would be killer. PPT हम pinned comment में डाल देंगे guys as soon as the stream ends. डिस्क्रिप्शन में डाल दे, अंशुमन डिस्क्रिप्शन में डाल देना, अभी डाल दे।
और मुझे एक चीज समय को बोलनी है कि 2018 बजट में जब स्टॉक्स में LTCG लॉन्ग टर्म कैपिटल गेन्स 2018 में ही अनाउंस हुआ, ठीक है, उसमें बोला गया था कि 31 मार्च तक तुम्हारे पास टाइम है, उसके बाद इट विल कम इनटू इफेक्ट। आज ना डेट बोली है ना कुछ, आज कुछ क्लैरिटी नहीं है। तो ऐसा भी हो सकता है जैसे विंटर सेशन में एक अचानक एक PDF सर्कुलेट हो रहा था, तो एनीथिंग कैन हैपन। तो अभी डरो मत। अभी
नहीं मैं तो खुश हूँ भाई, मैं तो मतलब
तो अभी बिल
All
पास
good.
नहीं हुआ एज ऑफ नाउ। आज की ट्रांजैक्शन में अभी अगर समय कहीं से भी उठा के सारा अपना वॉलेट में डाल देता है, किसी बाहर के एक्सचेंज में डाल देता है, तो अभी उस पे 30% नहीं लगे।
हाँ भाई मेरे पे डाल दो अपने सारे ideas, भाई मेरे को बकरी बना के मेरे को ले लो भाई आप।
Also, समय आज actually finance minister ने when she was talking about all of this, she actually said that life is unfair. ठीक है, उन्होंने she said it. She said life is unfair.
Take all my money.
Mr.
Take
Samay
all
Raina,
of
if Mr. Samay Raina is listening, I want to tell him specifically that life is unfair. ऐसा बोला उन्होंने, ठीक है। उसी बात पे दोस्तों, thank you so much for joining us. Anshuman, thank you so much.
Life is unfair.
Samay, thank you so much. Gaurang, thank you so much for helping us make sense of today. You can follow everybody here on Instagram. Do check it out. You can follow Anshuman on his channel. Follow Gaurang on Instagram. They talk about finance all the time. On that note, see you. You can follow Samay also. He's going to be doing a crying stream later tonight. You can check him out on his channel. उसी बात पे मिलते हैं। Cheers. Tonight you can check him out on his channel. उसी बात पे
streaming from
मिलते
2.5 hours
हैं।
time.
Cheers.
Okay, dude. I got the joke.
अब क्रिप्टो पे लग गया है 30% टैक्स। तो क्या क्रिप्टो और डिजिटल वर्चुअल एसेट्स इंडिया में लीगल हो से कोई चीज लीगल हो, स्मगलिंग, ट्रैफिकिंग, कुछ भी क्राइम करते हो, उससे जो आपको प्रॉफिट होता है वो भी इनकम टैक्स के हिसाब से आपको उस पे प्रॉफिट पे टैक्स देना है। अब वो एक्टिविटी तो इलीगल है, लेकिन इनकम टैक्स के लिए कुछ भी इलीगल नहीं है। इनकम टैक्स पर्पस के लिए सब कुछ लीगल है और आपको उस पे टैक्स देना है। तो आज ये डिसाइड हुआ है कि क्रिप्टोस पे और दूसरे वर्चुअल एसेट पे कितना टैक्स लगेगा, वो लीगल है या इल।
True. Give me something good, long. Yes, sir.
Well, what I was saying is that if you think about it, this is a very hot take. Nobody's gonna like this because we're on the short side of the we're at the short end of the stick here. But it makes sense on paper for them to throttle, because nobody uses their shit at night. Only the degenerate gamer cucklords like me and you do that.
I mean, it makes sense for them to throttle because that way you can get other people to like the way that the reason why they throttle is because they have oversold nodes. I'm not entirely familiar with how that works either, but like they'll have too many people on at the same time, so they have to lower the like.
Yeah, but they can do it. They can do it in the day. Why can't they do it at night?
I don't know why they specifically throttle in different times. They usually throttle at peak time, though, in order to ensure that everyone gets. In order to ensure that everyone gets like internet on that same node. What they could have done, what they could do, and what they should do, of course, is to make sure that you get the fucking internet you deserve, and they offer more nodes, for example.
All right,
I'm gonna buy this. Fuck this.
No, you can't buy it. It's hers. You gotta pay rent, motherfucker.
Oh
Nice
shit!
try, though.
Damn it! How the fuck did I already start with?
Well,
Jesus
here it
Christ,
comes, boys. Here comes the juice master.
Damn, dude. Coronavirus is going on. You still making me pay rent, Adev. God damn.
Oh my gosh. She collected from everyone.
PVC. Oh wow.
What the fuck?
Hey, what's
Take your fucking $6, dude.
Take
Take your 6 fucking bucks. I'll collect it later, man.
What the fuck, dude?
Alright, I'll get my $6 back when you walk on park and you owe me 1.6k for hotel, motherfucker.
We'll see.
This game is going so bad for me already.
Looking for a buyer. Will it be you?
Oh my god, here we go. Watch all of us fucking watch all of us hit that too.
Just be sure you don't.
It's pretty far. You guys shouldn't hit it.
2. Oops.
Damn, that's pretty lucky.
Jail for
Yeah, that
rolling
was really
doubles
good.
3 times in a row.
Cocker.
Heck yeah.
You can buy this property. What do you want to do?
Ooh, let's go. Finally, I landed on a fucking property, dude, in the beginning of the game. That's never happened before.
Wish you luck.
Oh, that's good.
Are you interested in buying this property?
Damn.
Buy him, man. And my turn.
It's your turn.
Pink is best. Pink is. Pink is.
In this video, we're going to be breaking down the Valorant weapon tier list for episode 4. First tier that we actually got to talk about is the F tier, and the only weapon that's in the F tier is the Judge. Not because the weapon is bad, because I fucking hate it. Okay, all joking aside, there's no weapon in the F tier. The F tier used to house the knife, but with the knife buffs, the knife isn't quite as bad anymore, so I'm gonna remove it from the F tier actually and put it up 1 tier to the bottom of C tier. Now, the knife is still very unreliable and never something that you could utilize in combat, and it doesn't give you any extra benefits. If the knife gave you more money or maybe an extra ult point, all of a sudden, it becomes worth the risk to use and the weapon becomes a lot stronger, but in its current state, it's better than non-working, but it's still not great. Now, the next 3 weapons of the C tier in no particular order is the Stinger, the Odin, and the Bucky. Now, first let's talk about the 2 close range weapons, the Stinger and the Bucky. While these weapons aren't bad, like the C tier are still very usable weapons, they aren't amazing at what they do. Ultimately, you're still paying a pretty hefty price tag for both of these weapons for what you're getting when there are other options that are even cheaper that have more potential value. You want truly close range? A shorty is very, very cheap and very lethal. You want a good all-round weapon depending on your skill level? Well, the Sheriff is right in that price point. I think particularly with the Stinger, you can get extra value with it if you have some sort of mobility, and that would be a character like Raze, Jet, or your girl Neon, but these weapons are a far cry from their heyday. Both the Stinger and the Bucky used to be. The Sheriff is right. It's still not great. The next so I'm gonna it becomes worth the risk to use and the weapon becomes a lot stronger, but in its current state it's better than non-working, but it's still not great. The next 3 weapons of the C tier in no particular order is the Stinger, the Odin, and the Bucky. Now first let's talk about the 2 close range weapons, the Stinger and the Bucky. While these weapons aren't bad, like the C tier weapons aren't bad, like range weapons, the Stinger and the Odin and the Bucky. Now, first let's talk about the
Odin and Cedar, sure, dude.
2 close range weapons, the Stinger and the Bucky. While these weapons aren't bad, like the C tier are still very usable weapons, they aren't amazing at what they do. Ultimately, you're still paying a pretty hefty price tag for both of these weapons for what you're getting when there are other options that are even cheaper that have more potential value. You want truly close range? A shorty is very, very cheap and very lethal. You want a good all-round weapon depending on your skill level? Well, the Sheriff is right in that price point. I think particularly with the Stinger, you can get extra value with it if you have some sort of mobility, and that would be a character like Raze, Jet, or your girl Neon, but these weapons are a far cry from their heyday. Both the Stinger and the Bucky used to be absolutely busted before they got hit by really reasonable nerfs, honestly, based on their power level. And now these guns fill a role where they are good in very particular situations, but in general use, they're not going to be better than other weapons you could use, especially if you have the skill to back them up. Now, the only problem with Odin keeping it in the C tier is really its direct comparison to regular rifles. Rifles are incredibly powerful, and the Odin, unfortunately, is even more of a price tag. Well, the Odin definitely has its uses. Its time to kill can be a little bit slow compared to rifles that have a potentially instant time to kill. And with the Ares being so damn powerful, it actually outshines a little bit of its older brother for just effectiveness compared to the cost. Now moving on to the B tier, these are powerful weapons that can be utilized throughout the course of a game. Incredibly consistent weapons, but some of them have a little bit more niche scenarios than the A tier, and
bro, I need
there's
to
no
know this, bro. When I was आज मैं खेल रहा था एक गेम, उसमें बहुत बोल रहे थे भाई ओडिन कहीं लिया, not to me, someone else. Definitely not me, bro.
In this video, I want to go over what you can do as a player to counter the Odin. By far, the most common issue I hear in my videos is how stupid the gun can be sometimes and how there is no counterplay against the player using it. Players in the competitive scene like Sinatraa have also made great use of the gun and have found wins where other teams may not have been able to. But although the gun can be nasty in some situations, it definitely has very apparent weaknesses, and keeping these weaknesses in mind, this gun will not cause you any issues. By the end of this video, I want to make sure that you can dominate any Odin player so that no one can ever abuse it against you again. Before I get into things, just a quick reminder that if you enjoyed this video, to get subscribed. It's free and you can always unsub again if you'd like to, and only 4% of you guys are currently subs, so getting that number up will help me a ton. On to the video. The Odin is a gun whose strengths lie in its high wall penetration and huge magazine size. With 100 bullets available, the gun has more than enough to mow down entire teams of players without any trouble. The gun fires 12 rounds per second and ramps up its fire rate up to 15.6 rounds per second if you fire it. The ADS mode shortcuts this ramp up and straight up fires at the max speed, and also makes the recoil much more controllable as well. With this in mind, the Odin is definitely one of the strongest guns when the player is able to set up shop and plant itself in the right position. Of course, the power of the gun is only truly accessed in this situation, and there's plenty of different scenarios where the Odin can be pressured to be a lot weaker and be outplayed by many guns in the game. This is all based on being able to make the user of the Odin not be able to be placed into this situation. If the gun is strongest when you're able to stay still and blow teams wide open, what you need to do as a player is pressure the Odin player so that they're forced to move and not have that opportunity to be in that position. Burn utility, pressure fire, do whatever you need to do to make sure that Odin player isn't able to remain still. The Odin has the slowest move speed out of any gun in the game, and is really bad when trying to fire unscoped. Switching to its ADS mode is also the slowest out of any gun in the game. This essentially translates into the idea that in any situation that doesn't allow the player to just sit still and hold an angle for free, the Odin will be significantly weaker than normal. It's just about forcing them off of these positions and taking advantageous fights when the Odin player is stuck in this awkward transition. This concept will apply differently based on whether the player is on the attacking or defending side. When attacking or in a retake scenario on defense, these are the situations in which an Odin player is forced to be moving the most, and this is when they are the least capable of getting a kill onto you, and this is weird time to strike. Another way to counter the Odin is to take fights with guns that are better than it in certain ranges and situations.
Everyone knows Valorant kind of sucks, but why can't it compete, and what did it do wrong? Let's break it down.
Everyone knows.
Everyone knows Valorant kind of sucks, but everyone knows Valorant kind of sucks.
Dude, these guys, bro.
Sure. But why can't it compete, and what did it do wrong?
What did it do wrong? What did your mom do wrong raising you, bro?
Let's break it down. First, before you even start playing the game, we have the infamous Valorant Vanguard. This isn't something to spend a lot of time on, but if I don't cover it, someone will comment, but what about Vanguard? Please, sympathize with me, your poor YouTube personality. Vanguard is a startup kernel-level anti-cheat, meaning that it runs at the lowest, most secure level of your computer. For example, Microsoft Windows is, at its core, a kernel. It's a computer program that has complete control over your system. When you turn on the computer, Vanguard loads and is completely protected from any application affecting it. It's literally more protected than the hardware driver for your mouse and keyboard, for example. For anyone who cares to explore more, this is called Ring Zero, and it's somewhat unique amongst video games. See, plenty of anti-cheats are so-called kernel level. Games like Apex Legends, Fortnite, PUBG, Siege. Even games no one plays or will ever play again, like For Honor, use kernel level anti-cheats. But the key difference is when and how this anti-cheat affects your system. Easy Anti-Cheat and BattlEye, two very popular kernel anti-cheats, both get loaded when you start the game up. That is, you decide to play the game and it loads the anti-cheat for the game you're about to play. Valorant, again, loads its anti-cheat when you boot up the PC. Now let's get out of the weeds here before they grow too thick and consider why this difference matters from both sides. Hacks in those other games certainly exist, so clearly this half-measure kernel system isn't foolproof, and yeah, of course. You just need to load the cheat before the game starts, and then modify whatever system components to hide it from the anti-cheat, and then boom, you've got a hack that's working in the game. That specifically is what Vanguard is doing weeds here before they grow anti-cheats, but the key difference is when and how this anti-cheat affects your system. Easy Anti-Cheat and BattlEye, two very popular kernel anti-cheats, both get loaded when you cheat for the game you're about to play. Valorant, again, loads its anti-cheat when you boot up the PC. Now let's get out of the weeds here before they half-measure kernel system isn't foolproof, and yeah, of course. You just need to load the cheat before the game starts, and then modify whatever system components to hide it from the anti-cheat, and then boom, you've got a hack that's working in the game. That specifically is what Vanguard is designed to combat by starting at boot up and being at the lowest security level. It can see when you start anything and nothing can be hidden from it, so it's able to see that you started aimhack.exe. Then when you connect to Valorant, it says that to Valorant servers, and boom, you're banned forever, or at least until you get a new computer, because the bans are HWID, hardware identification, custom ID numbers based on the hardware inside your computer. Add this to the fact that Ring Zero is not inherently more dangerous than Ring 3 or user access, because a Ring 3 program can also destroy your computer. And of course, loads of other programs use kernel access, so really, Vanguard is perfectly safe. Yes, that was sarcasm at the end there, because of course, none of that is particularly true. The fact that loads of other programs use kernel access is also, of course, a terrible excuse for why Vanguard needs to use kernel access. And even still, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be worried about Vanguard using it, just because other programs also do that. Also, Ring Zero is not inherently more dangerous for a couple of reasons. One, yes, a user can destroy their PC just fine without that access, and two, no company takes kernel access lightly, throwing a video game anti-cheat in there. It's not common for a reason. This is like saying that no one robs your house because you have a key, and so therefore it's fine to make copies of your key because everyone who's previously used it was responsible. This hasn't proven to be a problem yet, but the fact is that if you install a piece of software on millions of computers and give it total access to the entire computer, it becomes a target. No code is unbreakable, and this game is now the key to millions or tens of millions of computers. Add in the fact that Riot doesn't release public vulnerability audits, meaning that we may not know there is a massive, glaring, obvious hole in the wall until it gets abused. think it won't happen? Think about Steam or PlayStation or even the vulnerability that was exposed in Team Fortress 2, where everyone was suggesting you shouldn't play the game until it's patched because of a nasty vulnerability. These things do occur, and it may not happen today.
Okay, I get the point. You know what? I'll watch it. Just copy this. And just...
It may not happen ever, or it may already be occurring and we won't know for 5 years. This is still fine because the anti-cheat works, so at least it's performing its duty. You can make the informed decision to install this. Oh right, no it doesn't. In fact, the most high-profile cheaters, 2 semi-pros from Team Echo 8, Fox and Weak, were both manually banned by Riot after Vanguard failed to detect their cheats. These weren't even particularly sophisticated cheaters. They were using transparent smokes and wall hacks and aim hacks and being pretty blatant about it, especially considering Fox was caught in both Fortnite and CSGO prior to this, though not before managing to put up a 75% win rate against 100 Thieves Hiko and T1's Food, some of the most popular pros.
Hours, on offense, he's holding it down here.
Oh, that's a
on
good grenade.
defense.
That's a big grenade. Oh my God, Fox with a 3K. He might be able to pick up a clean ace. He's popping off on.
But let's say you decide to get past that. You install the game, you get into the game, and now you're going to play the game. We're going to have to break this down further, so let's start with how the game plays. Valorant feels inconsistent and slow. I think those are the best terms to use because I can say that both the gameplay, the gunplay, the servers, and the matches all feel inconsistent and slow. The movement is slow and feels imprecise. The gunplay and aim mimic CSGO to an extent, and yet still feels like you're spraying randomly with a huge amount of inaccuracy, even though that's not true. The servers are wildly unpredictable. Either you're going to be given a huge peeker's advantage because the enemy team is playing in Singapore, or you're going to be one-tapped by people 3 ranks below you. And the matches, it never feels like you're playing against someone your own skill level. They're either significantly lower skilled or significantly higher skilled players. Your own player's skill and aim can be as consistent as you want. You never get tilted. You're always the same, and yet every match will feel like you are either outclassed or outclassing. This problem is really hard to quantify, however. You can only base it off of anecdotes and your own experiences because Riot doesn't address these kind of issues. Worse, there is no demo viewer or replay function, so you can't see if things are lining up. You can't check to see if maybe the entire enemy team is just running a second behind. In a game like Apex Legends or COD, you blame it on tick rate. You say that lag interpolation teleported me into the path of bullet, and that's why it feels weirdly like I'm not hitting where I should be, or I'm dying before I shouldn't be. Valorant uses 128 tick servers, though, so it's not an excuse. I mentioned movement is slow, and this is intended, but it's still a problem. You'll notice that the best players in Valorant are all CSGO pros, and that's because the movement in Valorant is so slow and slippery. You feel like you're moving in jello and sliding through mush, and this very heavily favors quick aim. CSGO teaches you to be fast and accurate because of the movement, so when you remove the movement, the game becomes, as my mother would say, shooting chickens in a barrel. And back to those servers, or maybe it's the coding. There's something seriously wrong with this game. 128 tick servers, but they play like 12. Peeker's advantage is not supposed to be tantamount to aim hacks. It's so bad that the game has become run and gun the game. Either you move and use that Peeker's advantage to your advantage, or you'll pay the price. This is tied in with the weird animations, and you'll find yourself in a situation where you can't tell what direction a player is moving. It's really hard to read. Even at 1/16th video speed, you can't easily tell that this player is moving backwards. Then he hits a headshot while sliding. It's just illegible. You might think, oh, but I'm a better aim. I'm sneaky. Well, that doesn't matter either, because the game will just decide you're not accurate, you're not sneaky, you're not even shooting. And then a run and gunner will take you out instantly. So the gameplay, random shooting, random bullets, random servers, random desync, random peeking, random. See? Run and gun. Bullets, random. Random servers, random desync, random peeking, random. See? Run and gun. Yeah, RNG, multifaceted joke. And all of this on like 5 maps, one of which the entire community just hates. Valorant launched with the fewest And all of this on like 5 maps, one of which the entire community just hates. Valorant launched with the fewest maps of any competitive shooter, maybe ever. CSGO started with 6 and now it's like 40, with enough maps that they rotate in and out of active and reserve pools, and even have maps that only show up for short times during events.
Don't need more
Overwatch
maps, though.
came out with 12.
Definitely don't need more maps. We need few maps with more knowledge of maps.
And now is almost about to cross the 30 barrier. Valorant, though? Valorant launched with 4, and since launch has added exactly 1 new map, Icebox, the map everyone hates so much that it's nicknamed Ice Dodge. It's not even that it's a bad map, it's just radically different from other Valorant maps that the core community has come to accept. And it's incredibly anti-op. One of the 3 viable guns in the game, leading to more run and gun stuff. Dodging a map like this created the problem that no one learns how to play it. You'd have to set up a custom match with 10 people willing to go hard at this map to learn it. And since that doesn't happen, you've got people avoiding the map entirely. This happened in other competitive games too. People didn't want to risk their ranked scores or competitive streaks with unproven new maps. In Valorant, however, this is more of a problem thanks to the incredibly small pool. When you only have 5, suddenly 20% of your entire map pool is unviable. That is a major problem. Let's talk about those 4 maps that people do play, though. All the maps in Valorant are created by Volcano, aka Salvatore Garrazzo. Volcano started as a pro player, and a good one. He won the World Cyber Games Championship twice in a row, he's a 2-time ESEA champion, and then he went on to be a map designer for CSGO. He helped design Cash and Crown with FM Pwn, and created a modified version of Nuke, which eventually replaced Valve's own version back in 2013. When Riot needed a level designer, they picked someone who, on paper, looks really, really good. Unfortunately, the maps he created are kind of, well, gimmicky. In fact, they're all gimmick. Each map is clearly designed around a single core concept, but that concept is then pulled out to its most extreme resolution. Portals, lol. 3 bomb sites, lol. Okay, but this one has ropes, lol. No, but This one, the doors close, lol. This one has vertical bomb sights, lol. There's a need to be unique. Certainly no game wants to replicate another, and I'm sure Don't Be CSGO is a design principle that is emblazoned on their very souls. But Gimmick is just that, gimmick. It doesn't suit the problems with the map design, which is also quite bad. Look at how many angles you have to clear to walk down a hallway. Look at how many corners there are. This is a camper's paradise, made only worse by the poorly operating servers. But you'll get used to it. You learn where the spots are. It's all game sense and map knowledge. Except thanks to the poor maps and poor servers, your queue time is going to be a while, especially at the upper ranks. You might be waiting 3 minutes, you might be waiting 30. The highest ranks are often over 30 minutes. Now compound that with the fact that 20% of those games people are just going to dodge because they hate a map, and the other 40% of the matches are going to be debilitated by their shoddy servers, and you've got an on average bad time. So you finally get into a game. The movement is wonky, the animations are broken, the maps are filled with doors and corners, kid, and the only viable way to play is to run and gun with an SMG like it's Quake. Riot could fix some of these problems by allowing you to queue for specific maps, but that just leads into the next problem. Let's say you get into a game and the timer clicks over and it's live. But nobody shows up, nobody attacks, nobody defends. You're just playing by yourself, and you see a bunch of people AFK in their spawn. Or the timer clicks over and your own team is just sitting there, not moving. You're in an AFK match, and that sucks. Time to leave and re-queue. Let's say you get into a game, and you find yourself up against a real team. Nobody dodges, and then in the third round, your entire team votes to surrender, or the enemy team votes to surrender. Surrendering, or FFing for forfeiting, is a symptom of the rest of this. I say symptom because the reason people forfeit is that they don't want to waste their time with a bad team, or playing in a team that could never win. This too has existed in other games, and it's the reason for competitive cooldowns. You can't leave a ranked match or else you'll not be able to play for X amount of time. However, this just makes the queues even longer, and the success rate even worse. You'll spend 15 minutes in a queue to play for 12 minutes before spending 15 minutes in a queue to play for 12 minutes. What would create a community mentality that it's better to just leave a game? That you shouldn't stick around because it's not going to get better. That you should spend 15 more minutes looking for a better game rather than tough it out. Well, I think we can point some of our fingers at a phenomenon that is rampant in Valorant. Smurfing is when a player creates a second account to play against lower skilled opponents, perhaps to play with their friends who are not as skilled, or perhaps just to play against weaker players, or sometimes just to play casually without affecting their own rank. Smurfing, like almost every other problem here, is not something that exists only in Valorant. However, it is something that's very easy to do in Valorant because Valorant is a free-to-play game. Thereby, you can just create a new account and play a new Valorant character. In fact, it's easier on Valorant than almost any other game because it constantly encourages you to sign out of your account, making it very simple to just move from account to account, unlike, say, CSGO, which requires you to log out of Steam, or Fortnite, which requires you to log out of Epic Launcher. It's just seamless to smurf. Regardless of the reason behind smurfing, it creates two problems that suck to deal with. First, playing against a vastly superior opponent in a ranked match is unfair. It's not fun to play against a pro when you're on your 20th game ever. It makes you feel like maybe you're not good enough for your current skill level. It makes you feel like everyone else is either better than you or a cheater, and it makes you dread loading up the game. You don't want to play because you can't compete, and if you can't compete, why even bother? Secondly, even for those players not seeking to actively destroy new players, the way the system determines where you should be is by requiring you to win 10 matches. This will start by putting you against low-level accounts, then mid-level accounts, and high-level accounts, and as you continue to win, you will continue to increase in rank. This is very common, and in theory, you should only have to play against unknowingly skilled players who are just better, moving through the rank ups required to eventually settle in their actual skill groups. But instead, because of Smurfs, you have way more of this than you should. It's free and easy, so why not create a second account? And for every second account, that's 10 games that could be ruined for other lower skilled players. Or if you're trying to get a really low rank to destroy newbies even more, that's 10 games where you purposefully threw the game and didn't perform, ruining the game for your own teammates. The argument here is for an unranked mode, which Valorant has, but the problem is that people just don't take unranked games very seriously. AFKs, trolls, people who just don't know the meta, who don't care, who never will. Well, they make it so that the higher ranked player who is legitimately trying to learn a new character, they can't without risking their competitive rank. So they create a Smurf to play ranked, experimenting with new characters. Those are the guys that are going to rush through your 10 competitive wins, destroying the enemy team. No matter what, Smurfing is painful for the people who have to experience it. There's really no benefit except for the individual who is Smurfing. The only real way to stop something like this is to make the game cost money to play or make competitive untenable to get into, say by requiring you unlock a bunch of characters first. Neither of these are on the roadmap, but this is why CSGO introduced their profile ranks and required you to play to level 3 before getting into competitive. I don't know if there's a solution here for Valorant, but it's something they should be spending a lot of time thinking about. I've talked a lot about your rank. That rank is your MMR, matchmaking rank, and it uses a system called ELO, a ranking system that comes from chess. The idea is that each player has a score, and that score represents how likely they are to win a match. The player with a higher score is more likely to win against a player with a lower score. Then whoever wins gets some additional score, and whoever loses has a lower score. And the greater the difference, the less the lower score person risks losing, and the more the higher score player risks losing. This keeps things fluid and fair, and that's how you rank up. It's also how you rank down when you lose. You're giving points to the enemy team. In a perfect world, you should win as many games as you lose against an equal enemy. So you play 10 games against someone at your exact score, you should win 5 and they should win 5. That is when the system is most fair. Valorant uses this system, but in order to make it most fair, they do 3 things. 1, they give or take ELO based on how well your team does, which you might immediately see the problem there. Secondly, they base your current rank off a pyramid of wins. And finally, they take more ELO for losses than they give for wins. Let's address that first part since it's so obvious. If you're a good player playing well and leading your team, but your team is doing badly, you will lose the match, even if you're the MVP and you top fragged and got the most objectives and overall dominated. If you're not able to 1v5 consistently, then you lose, and that means you lose ELO, and you're clearly worse than the other players. This creates a problem for good players, and it means that when you play with randoms, you're risking your whole rank. Secondly, they base your score off a pyramid. This is unique-ish to Valorant in aesthetic approach, but it's still the same system, except that this is your visual representation of your rank. The problem with Valorant is that they use the last triangle on your pyramid, the oldest game in your history, to determine your rank. So if you've played really well 8 games in a row, but your 9th game was a loss, then you're a loser, and you're going to play with lower ranked people. Then you have to maintain these wins, leading to a really long climb to a real rank. A climb that, if you misstep at all, you're going to have to climb even longer. It's a climb where most of your time is spent going sideways trying to prove that one misstep, maybe against a Smurf, that one misstep wasn't your fault. That time your team AFK'd on you and you lost for no reason at all, that time your team forfeited after 2 rounds, that time, yeah, that's gonna haunt your rank for ages. And finally, Valorant removes more points for a loss than for a win. If you lose 11-13, a close loss that maybe you MVP'd during, you might lose, say, 20 points. But if you win 13-11, a close win, maybe you even MVP'd, you're going to get 10 points. Altogether, these 3 issues create a problem where you spend most of your time in the same ranks. Once you've peaked, well, that's it. You can't get higher. So if you're playing for rank, well, you might as well make a new Smurf account and go through it all again to get a better start and not get screwed over so much. Or maybe you'll end up going against higher skilled Smurfs and lose again, or AFKs, or forfeiters, or maybe you'll just lose a key game because the animation and servers don't line up. Any number of things can cause you to lose a game, and with this setup, you are guaranteed to stay in your rank for way longer than you should. There's a reason they call this ELO hell, and it really can be. Maybe you can just keep supporting your team and rank up with them. Well, bad news, guys. The ELO you win is pretty heavily weighted by your average combat score. So if you win as a support character, well, your combat score isn't going to be very high, because a good support character is supporting other people, healing, getting intel, and using abilities to enable their team to win, not directly engaging in combat. So now your rank ups will be even slower, even as your rank downs come faster. This encourages you to not play a support character, because why would you if you're just going to D-rank? Can you see the cycle now? Can you see how you might become a rather toxic player? Because every bad player is ruining your game, not just one match, but the whole game. And you're certainly not going to start playing a support character because your score suffers if you do that. And now you've lost 4 matches in a row, so time to burn this account and just make another. The community has a problem, or rather Valorant has a community problem. That is to say that the community is toxic.
You play this character like a bro. You are actually like, wow. How small is your... I hope you go to bed knowing that, yikes, dude.
Very, 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 very toxic, and perhaps you can start to see why, but the fact of the matter is that it's unbearable. You can choose to either go in with a 5-stack and use Discord for comms, or you can dive into pubs and get screamed at. You can learn one character and one map, or you can experiment and play the game and get screamed at. Beyond just the AFKs and forfeits and Smurfs, beyond the players who blame everyone because ELO has trapped them, there's a problem created by its classes. There's this somewhat unique approach to how Valorant uses classes in that, unlike Overwatch, the class abilities are purchased as part of the economy of round wins and losses. At its most basic level, the special abilities in Valorant are like grenades and CSGO. You buy them and they carry over round to round. This forces your abilities to be used tactically as part of your buying strategy, while also limiting the amount of times per round they can be used. I won't go into this too much, but there is a surprising side effect to this, in that utility starts to be something winners use to ensure their win. They are up economically, and so they use more of these abilities than the losers who are broke. Some games, including Valorant, have introduced loss streak bonuses for exactly this reason. Once the economy tips too far, it's very difficult to battle back against. But in this game, where both teams have equal costs, well, the round win and spike plant bonuses can give a team a very healthy leg up, especially on class abilities. If buying a full set of utilities means you can't buy armor, you're just not going to do that. However, that aside, Valorant has many classes, and this leads to two interesting and difficult problems to address. One, the classes in Valorant are naturally unbalanced and can never be balanced. And two, a lot of thought has to go into economic counterplay. That first one, it's so obvious. One character is naturally better than another, and this is why any game with hero classes like this eventually develops a meta. There are just simply some classes that are S tier and others that are not. You run with what's good until a patch or a new meta strategy develops and go from there. The problem with Valorant's specific balancing here is that the classes developed for solo play are significantly better for a solo player than any of the support or team-based classes. This plays into the ELO discussion from earlier, but why should I spend any time getting good using smokes if only 3 characters can use smokes and none of them increase my kill score? Either you're not versatile enough to play those characters, you're just bad at playing supports and therefore not skilled enough to take the role, or you know how valuable they are, you know how to play them, but you choose not to specifically because you know it's going to harm your rank. A lot of games like Siege, PUBG, CSGO, they allow you to take some or all of the utility from your dead teammates and enemy players to supplement your own usage of smokes and flashes. You use one, you pick one off of your dead teammate, you use another. With Valorant, that's not even a possibility. If you play a class without a flash, you will never have a flash, ever. If you play without a smoke, you'll never smoke anything. This is just the way it is. Secondly, however, is how the economy addresses these issues. In Dota, the economy is very specific per character. This allows them to balance a character by increasing or decreasing their cost for things, making it so that you're more likely to use special things because you can afford to do that. In Valorant, you can buy for teammates and guns all cost the same, which means that any player with a bankroll can outfit their entire team or can outfit a player who needs to buy very expensive utility. This eliminates one way to balance classes. Looking back at Dota, each ability a hero has also has an item that counteracts it. If you've got silence or disarm, you've got an item in the store that counteracts that silence. In Valorant, if there were an ability to counteract another ability, that would be locked to a single player on a single class. Again, removing a way to balance classes. This leads to situations where some classes just can't do anything in certain circumstances. A healer will never be able to flash onto site in a 1v1 clutch situation. They just won't. When a class is simply outclassed, counterplay suffers. That healer will probably get screamed at no matter what choice they make. Either they throw their life away trying to get the win, or they save and give the enemy a win. I don't know that I have a solution for this. I don't think that there is a solution, but I know that a multi-billion-dollar gaming company should be able to focus on it, yet they don't. It seems that this kind of balancing is intended to simply be an arms race. The next class will be designed to take out the previously overpowered class, itself to be overshadowed by the class released after that. Riot seems intent on this. They increased the number of characters by 50% in a year, introducing new types of utility with no way to counteract them. Economy that doesn't support losers using utility at all, and counterplay stifling class matchups that are designed to lead to toxicity. Skins are big money. They're big in CSGO, they're big in TF2, they're big in Fortnite, and even PUBG has them. It's a common way to monetize your most devout players and increase the dollar spend per player, meaning your game becomes more profitable. It's popular because it doesn't affect the game, or it shouldn't, at least. Cosmetics are just for the people who want to spend money on them and don't change how fast the gun shoots or how easy it is to hide. There are occasions where that is proven false, but most companies try to fix that and make the cosmetics affect gameplay as little as possible. There are 2 ways to charge players for these skins. First, you can randomly allow your players players to get them, whether through drops or loot boxes or whatever. This allows an average player to spend $250 or thereabouts and potentially walk away with a skin that has a perceived value of maybe thousands of dollars. Or they can walk away with a skin that has value of mere cents. Two games with vastly different approaches to this are Overwatch and CSGO. Overwatch allowing you to unbox skins that you would otherwise use points to unlock, meaning that they are giving you a chance to shortcut a time investment in each skin. CSGO, on the other hand, has an entire trading platform behind it, Steam, which allows players to set up third-party sales. In this case, you might unbox a skin worth $150,000 US. The second method is to allow you to simply buy the skins. Maybe you lock them behind a battle pass and you can buy battle pass tiers. Maybe you have a store where you can buy skins directly. Valorant does something weird. They have a store where you can buy skins, but not all the skins and not all the time. Whenever they decide to, they put a bundle of skins on the store, and that bundle changes fairly frequently. Then you have to buy the skins individually or as a part of that bundle. It's clear that this system is designed to encourage you to buy a skin right away because it's only on sale for a short period of time. If you don't get it now, you may not get it again for a long time. This isn't the problem, not really. The problem comes next. You've decided to buy a skin. How much is it? Well, first, everything is converted to Valorant points like a mobile game. You have to buy the in-game currency and then use that to convert into skins. And of course, it's never exact. You'll always have just a little left over or just a little bit below what you need. It's predatory at best, and I think we all know that. It's a terrible, greedy system. No one can possibly deny that. But it's not the worst. First thing they do, I'll explain some other pricing first while you consider what could possibly be more predatory than what they're already doing. So those skins, they cost anywhere from $7 to $41 each, and a bundle might cost anywhere from $32 to over $100. This is on the expensive side of things, since you can consider a bundle to be equivalent to a full skin in Fortnite. In Fortnite, that skin might cost you $10 or $15, and in Valorant, it will start at double and go up many multiples. Now, one of the things Valorant does is occasionally introduce the night market, a discount market where randomized skins are available at discounts. Those discounts are not particularly deep, however, they average around 20%, lower for higher tier items and higher for lower tier items. The night market was introduced to provide skins to players who might be on a budget, but I think it's somewhat laughable to suggest that buying a skin for $30 instead of $35 is really all that budget friendly. Clearly, it's there to hook into players who were previously already considering dropping money on a skin, but haven't. Here's that skin you wanted. It's right here. And it's a one-time only discount. It'll never be this cheap again. Buy it now. I didn't even intend to suggest this is also predatory, but yeah, it is. So back to my question, what could they do to make things even more predatory? The night market certainly helps, but what Valorant did is introduce tiered weapon skins. You have to spend what are called Radianite points. Yes, a second in-game currency to upgrade your weapons. It will cost you somewhere between 5 and 10 Radianite points per tier. You'll get these Radianite points by either leveling up your battle pass, which is paid but also requires a time investment, or you can directly convert Valorant points into Radianite points at about $1 per Radianite point. For those keeping score at home, this means you can spend $5 to $10 upgrading your $25 skin per level, which maybe there's 4. Take a skin like the Elder Flame Vandal. This skin costs 2,475 Valorant points. Now, there's no package of points that gives you exactly 2,475. The closest is the 3,650 point package. This costs $34.99. Now, to upgrade this to the third tier will cost 75 Radianite points. There is no way to get exactly 75, so you'll need to convert for 80 Radianite. 80 Radianite will cost you 4,800 Valorant points. Now, you've got 1,175 left over, so you need 3,625. Well, that means another trip to buy the 3,650 point package for $34.99. You're at $69.98 spent on this one skin so far, and you've got 25 Valorant points left over. If you knew about this beforehand, you could certainly plan and say, I need 7,300 Valorant points. And then you could have bought the $49.99 package and the $19.99 package and gotten an extra 100 points for the same cost. Or you could have gone all out and bought the 11,000 point package for $99.99. Now, if you'd done this, you'd have 3,725 points left, basically the same as a $34.99 package. You've effectively dropped the cost of that skin to just $65 instead of $69.98. I mean, that's a hell of a deal for that $25 skin you bought. Of course, if you'd just bought it in a more expensive bundle, those usually include a couple Radianite as well, though never enough to actually complete the upgrades. It's a bad system, purposefully convoluted, with the sole intent to deny you the ability to make an informed decision. It's backed by a store system designed exclusively to rush you into a purchase, and further backed by a catch-up system that will pressure you even more into buying, all for the fear of missing out on a quote-unquote deal. Then, once you've made a purchase, the game still tries to monetize you with further convoluted upgrade systems and detrimental points bundles, which act only to punish those who spend too little. They've changed the system from CSGO and turned it into a one-way purchase towards Riot. For all the flack it gets, all the gambling side effects and scams, having skins means you feel an attachment to your character and weapons, just like with a bumper sticker on a car, or slapping a Recycle Congress sticker on your Apple Air so people can see it when you're writing a screenplay in Starbucks. However, with Valorant, it's all sheer profit seeking. Instead of getting a few skins dirt cheap on the market or getting lucky with a cosmetic loot box, you're going to spend the full amount directly with Riot. You can never duck out of the market by selling your backpack. All costs are sunken costs, and now when you see someone with a really cool skin, they didn't get that as a drop. They didn't unbox that for $2 or hold on to it for years. They paid. The whole thing feels manufactured and hollow. All of this for a skin that has a soulless dragon that moves around occasionally. As a fun aside, I really can't wait for the first major to be lost because a skin blocks a pro player's vision. This will probably be the shortest segment of this video, but I wanted to talk about it a little. Valorant is very locked up in two different ways. First, Valorant doesn't allow anything custom. No custom skins, no custom game modes, no mods, no private servers. You can do a private game on their servers, but you can't change the rules. You can't do hide and seek or create some cool new skin, or even try making a real map that isn't just a gimmick. They just don't allow it, and they probably never will. It goes against their philosophy, which appears to be, we own this entirely, and you're lucky to be able to play it. There's not even a demo mode, as I mentioned earlier, and this is like the barest of bare essentials for a competitive game today. Secondly, however, they lock characters. They require time or cash investments to unlock a new character. This has bigger repercussions than I think they've considered, because you can't be competitively viable as a new player without spending lots of money. You can't watch a professional go play Valorant, watch them pull off some sick use of abilities and awesome trick shots, and then go do that in the game. I hate to keep bringing up CSGO, but CS has been the top of the competitive FPS category forever, because you can watch someone do something cool in a major and then immediately go do that thing. But in Valorant, you watch a major and then have to either grind for 2 weeks to get the points to unlock the character to even try that thing, or pay up. So this is the circle that a Valorant player finds themselves in. If they even decide to risk having Vanguard on their system, they may not get into any games because of the queues and the dodging, and then when they finally get a match and everyone's in, assuming there's no AFKs, well, maybe there's a smurf. If they play enough games for long enough and don't quit due to the toxic nature of the game and the way the game encourages you to be toxic, they'll survive to be locked into elo hell, all the while being aggressively pressured by predatory sales tactics into giving Riot as much money as they possibly can, while simultaneously being given no agency over the game they invest so much into. A lot of people like to say that these games shouldn't cater to free-to-play players, that if you're not paying, you're not a customer. This is incorrect. Free-to-play players are the bread and butter of these games. They are what allows for a whale to drop thousands of dollars on the game, because no one is going to drop that money if no one is playing. Free-to-play players are the audience, whales are the result. Also, they originally called the top rank Valorant. You could have been Valorant in Valorant. Imagine Googling how to get Valorant. If you like this video, please share it. If you want to watch another, you can do that right now. And as always, I'll see you on the next one.
The Valorant competitive.
My name is Moriarty, and I am a game critic. One of 2020's biggest games is Among Us, a truly massive game that just broke 4 million concurrent players, making it one of the largest and most successful games of all time. Have you heard its success story? It was released in 2018, something a lot of players find surprising, and sat in relative obscurity for 2 years. Seemingly destined to die, it got a lot of attention in Brazil, followed by a lot of memes building their way into the culture, finally ending up with a stream by Admiral Bulldog, which led to its introduction to the masses. Then, a massive stream by Sodapoppin that tipped it over the edge. And within 3 months, it explodes and becomes one of the biggest games in the world. In fact, it became so large and so popular that they unintuitively canceled the sequel to maintain their player base and provide updates to the game for the newest players. And it totally deserves it, too. There's really no question that it's a great and simple game. Well designed, cute, totally perfect for today's permanently at home gamer. It's become such a large presence that maybe you're starting to ask the question, well, how long is it going to stay? When will Among Us be ejected? After all, games come and go. They're no. Yes, you may not have realized it if this is your first time on the carousel, but Among Us is actually part of the social deduction genre. Social deduction, that is, deductive reasoning, or the logical process of figuring things out based on evidence. Take that and add it to a social setting. So, logically figuring things out based on evidence from other people. Probably the earliest such game that people played was Cluedo, or Clue if you're a heathen North American. A murder mystery game that spawned movies and about 1,000 different branded versions. Created in the 1940s, you've probably played the game or seen it played. And the goal is to determine who killed whom with what and where. This format was updated by games like Scotland Yard, which introduced a competitive aspect to the gameplay where detective players try to capture a criminal player, or The Fury of Dracula, which adds even more to this formula by introducing combat. Of course, one of the biggest problems with board games is the need to have a board, and so a more social party game aspect was introduced by the game Mafia, the first and easily most copied social deduction game. Stop me if you've heard this one. You've got two groups of people, the citizens and the mafia. The mafia can kill citizens during the night, and the citizens can vote out people they think are in the mafia in a meeting during the day. It's really prototypical, to the point that its basics are the basics of social deduction. A group of people who have various roles and various win states based on those roles. Mafia was developed in the psychology department of Moscow State University, and it should surprise absolutely nobody to find out that developed a game that could appeal to his younger students, but also provide fodder for his term paper. This was taken later and refined and expanded by game developer Andrew Plotkin into Werewolf, a version of the game that adds all sorts of roles like detectives, psychics, witnesses, doctors, hunters, and many, many, many more. One of the most interesting quotes from Andrew that I think magically describes social deduction games entirely is this. It was what poker would be if you didn't play with a deck of cards, but bet solely on other people's bets. It's fascinating.
Competitive system is supposed to be the steady, tried and true groundwork of the game. But ever since the game's launch, it's been an absolute nightmare, leaving Riot Games with their hands full. We all know things need to change, but what exactly are the problems with Ranked? And is it really something we should be complaining about? Let's talk about it. Before we get into the video, I'm going to remind you to head over to the Score Esports Shorts channel. Same Ranked is an action is bunch-sided. They would like to see it. They said that the majority of the game's 14 million players are bunched up within silver and low gold. Basically, ranks in Valorant are bottlenecked and lopsided, and Riot would like to see a more normal, even distribution, and they're apparently working on that. The question is, why is it lopsided? You can see how a majority, and in Riot's opinion, an incorrect amount are in lower ranks.
Damn. I'm somewhere here, bro. That's crazy. Silver. How do I rank, bro?
Why is this happening? Are people hard stuck? Is it the system? Does Riot have it out for you? Spoiler, they don't. Well, clearly, if Riot is telling us that a vast majority of players are stuck in silver and gold, then there's something wrong with the distribution of ranks. Either people are stomping and absolutely crushing their games or not climbing up fast enough, and us bottom fraggers aren't losing enough RR. Here's to that. Simply put, the ranked system isn't working. The stars should be rising, and those who are struggling should be falling. So if you're confused and frustrated with your ranked experience, that is completely understandable. Well, fear not, for I've researched every single patch note since beta, and I have very loud opinions as to why ranked distribution is wonky and why ranked, simply put, sucks. And no, I'm not gonna be talking about how we can't pick maps or toxic teammates or whatever this is.
You know, you sound like you kind of do taxes.
I sound like I do taxes.
Yeah.
What I'm talking about are game-specific issues that you cannot control. Y'all have the ability to shut your mouth and be nice for once, but y'all don't have the ability to control 1, rank disparity, and 2, Smurfs. Are these problems unique to Valorant? Absolutely not. You can take a look at Riot's better game, League of Legends. League has a myriad of problems within it, including a huge problem with smurfing. That being said, I do think these problems are uniquely severe in Valorant. The nature of the agents in Valorant make it specifically easy to pub stomp games with. Reyna's kit might as well have been designed to smurf with. In addition to the issues with the agents, there's only one playing field when it comes to ranked games. There's no third-party platforms like FACEIT and CSGO here. So that means the best players don't have a hyper-competitive alternative to ranked to go to. So it's possible that some of those players decide to stop tryharding and start smurfing with their friends for an easier time. So when you have a bunch of Jets and Reynas insta-locking duelists and you have way too many people in the silver purgatory, that can lead to some nasty ranked experiences. Now with that in mind, let's get to the first big point that I think needs to be addressed. Maybe the reason we have so many silvers is because they're not playing with silvers. Sounds odd, right? Well, that's the Valorant ranked experience. If you're silver 2, you probably expect a bronze 3 to gold 1 to be in your lobby at your most generous, understanding self, which I'm sure all of you are. But it becomes kind of shocking when a plat or even a gold 3 comes in and carries you or the enemy team. In-game strats become about one player and their much higher skill level rather than their util or their playstyle or whatever. It is two completely different stories when you say, hey, maybe you shouldn't go B because KJ has her setup there, versus, hey, maybe we shouldn't go B because KJ claps us every time. That strategy is specifically only for 100 Thieves when they see CNED with his op.
And you could tell we were just going away from him. We're like, all right, let's find CNED and go the other way.
That's the strat. Basically, you're either constantly getting clapped or getting carried.
That's
There's no
crazy, bro.
chance for you to show your improved skills. You're just a little ping pong ball. Also, this leads to people who are in silver getting better, but they're not moving up. So they're playing at like a gold or even a plat level, but they're still stuck in silver. This leads us, and is somewhat related to our second issue, Smurfs. People smurf for lots of different reasons. They want to play with their lower level friends, they want to try out new util or new agents without losing RR, or they want to completely destroy people. To quote someone in a recent PC Gamer article, in all honesty, it was fun as hell smoking people who were new to the game. Then there's also the issue of the vicious cycle of smurfing. If you're constantly playing against smurfs, you're gonna get a little frustrated. Eventually, for a little relief, you'll create a smurf, and then someone else is gonna create a smurf, and the cycle repeats and repeats and repeats. In Valorant, smurfing isn't so much a remedy for deadly long queue times like it was when the game first dropped, as it is just for having a fun time playing games in lower elos. To me, those are the two major issues in Ranked. And the good news is, Riot is aware of them. But the question still remains, what can they do about it? Now, despite addressing that Ranked is not in the optimal spot they want it to be, Riot also doesn't want to give into any sort of confirmation bias, meaning they don't want you to think it's their fault that you're hard stuck silver. A Riot dev said in a lengthy Reddit post that neither the game nor any developer is, quote, not here to make a system to give you a free rank you don't deserve, and that they can't solve problems that don't exist. And they're not wrong. I went through every single patch note, and competitive has been addressed in not all, but most of them. Specifically in the 3.0 patch, Riot said they wanted to make sure that you were having fun in your ranked games. They said their primary goals were this: we want winning games to matter most, at all skill levels. We want to improve individual performance evaluation because we believe it helps identify more fair and balanced matches. We want you to see your rank as an accurate representation of your current skill level. We want you to have fewer motivations for playing on different accounts and to get your proper rank faster. And as for smurfing in Valorant, Riot has addressed them before. In October 2020, they were aware of the problem of smurfs and had deployed strategies to combat them. According to senior producer Ian Felding in October, quote, right now we have a behind-the-scenes system for unrated as well as one that applies to Iron through Diamond ranked players. The latter tracks an individual's performance and notices when a player makes a highly disproportionate impact in a game. We then quickly boost them to harder matches and higher ranks in competitive. We stopped leveraging the system for immortal players because there isn't a ton of room to smurf or play down or actually already near the top ranks. This is all really great, but as of May 2021, Riot said they were still deep into an investigation about how to deal with smurfs. And actually, according to Riot's data, smurfs are only a small percentage of the population. Pros and experts like our Lord and Savior Shroud think that smurfing is actually not that big of a deal. You just need to get good.
Smurfs can be a problem, sure.
But I also think the Smurf excuse is overused. They could truly be the rank that you are at. They are just feeling it. And for some reason, their mouse is just responding to their hand very well. That could happen. Smurfing is an issue, sure, but it's not as big of an issue that everyone makes it out to seem. It's just not.
So at the end of the day, why does this all matter? Well, Valorant is a game that over 14 million people enjoy with a variety of different experiences. For some people, it is their first FPS, and for some people, this is the game that they spend hundreds of dollars and hours on. Yeah, it's a free-to-play game, whatever, but you expect a certain kind of experience from it. Clearly, Riot is aware that there are issues with their game, but honestly, shouldn't we expect that? A popular, rather young game that is growing every single day is bound to have issues. Furthermore, Riot has to make sure that every single change they make is fair and bountiful for everyone. And if we're being really honest, guys, Riot is one of the few developers that actually listens to their community. And I know I'm not the only one who feels this way. Guys, I am one of you. I often find myself frustrated and ranked, whether it's my friends or less often by myself, and I want it to be fun and good too. All good things take time. And hopefully our patience will be rewarded soon. But if it takes too much time, we ride at dawn. Well, that's the Valorant ranked experience. Ew.
Nice.
Ew.
Nice.
That's Pineline.
How long have I been streaming, dude?
Our patience will be rewarded soon. But if it takes too much time, we ride at dawn.
The need to have a board and
4 hours. Mic test. Okay, dude. We'll keep going, bro.
From Genshin Impact.
Oh my god, actually, I can't keep going. I need to stop this. I'm halfway done, by the way, of first assignment. Still, like, half of this assignment left and another assignment just as big. So 4 hours, 8. It's gonna take 16 hours. Sure, dude. I'll do it tomorrow. Bye.